First store opened in Southport underneath Archer's Gym on the Gold Coast. At first, we were both just going to hire a manager and put in, but the last moment I said to Simon, I have to run it. It's not going to work unless I'm there. And he's like, yeah, okay, do what you think you need to do. So I run the store. Simon stayed silent partner for about 4 years. We grew that into 5 stores together and online. And if you went to any bodybuilding show, and there wasn't as many as there is now, we would be sponsoring it, we'd be there sampling. That was going really good until Simon decided to come into the business. Simon and I just had different visions and ideas about the business, As we started small, but as we continue to grow, I wanted these big box retail. I wanted supplements for everybody. So someone can walk in, not feel intimidated about where they're shopping, get advice from like-minded people behind the counter. And whether they're, mums that have been pregnant, want to get their, former pregnancy body back, dads who just want more energy, lose the beer gut. But Simon sort of wanted, we're here for athletes, bodybuilders, people who train and serious. Business sort of started to collide, his vision versus my vision. So one of us had to leave and I decided to put my hand up and leave because I already knew what I was going to do, and that was start my own chain, which was Nutrition Warehouse.
Nutrition Warehouse, from a single setback to Australia's largest supplement retailer. 120 plus stores nationwide with a growing footprint in New Zealand. $170 million plus a year and counting, built on service, price, and community. But the goal is bigger.
And our new mission now, after we got past 100 stores, we realised those missions were all internalised, all about us, where in theory they should be about the customer. And now we've flipped the script and our new mission is to inspire 2 million people to be built for life by 2033. Let's face it, to be a great bodybuilder, it takes a decade.
It takes a decade.
It takes to run a business from a startup to getting it to it. It takes a decade. Everything's a decade. There's no overnight successes. Probably back then, maybe I was thinking about pro, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's better to be a good amateur than a bad pro. It's amazing, after all these decades, I still get choked up, but
Hey guys, before we get into the podcast, this episode is sponsored by Alka Power, Australia's #1 alkaline water, trusted for its high pH and ultra hydrating benefits. Whether you're training, recovering, or just staying sharp, find it in major supermarkets, health food stores, and selected petrol stations across Australia. Go to alkapower.com.au if you want to learn more. Nutrition Warehouse, not your average supplement store. If you're serious about lifting, this is the place. No fluffs, just high quality proteins and pre-workouts. Every supplement need that you would require. Shop in store or online, nutritionwarehouse.com.au, and grab a cheeky 50% off. That's 15% off by using discount code MUSCLETALKS, either online or in store. Macro Foods, ready-made meals that actually hit your macros. Tasty, high-protein meals designed to fuel your goals without the prep time. Head to Macro Foods, that's macrofoods with a Z.com.au, and use code MTP10 for 10% off all your orders. Macrofoods.com.au and use code MTP10 for 10% off all your orders. NABA champion, IFBB champion, Mr. Australia, Mr. World, Night of Champions, Newcastle overall champion that is, Nutritional Warehouse champion. Grew up in Newcastle, working class, money was tight. He knew he had to earn it. 21, got a weight set. Magazines and tragedy also shaped his fitness journey. Saw the vision, backed himself, knew when to jump. Dodged a worldwide nutrition name, bullet to become Nutrition Warehouse, let's get that right. Because I did hear you say it was going to become worldwide or Mr. World, whatever it was.
Yeah,
right, but we dodged that bullet.
Yep.
All right. Chase a dream, helping those chase their dreams by having 120 stores Australia-wide and now New Zealand. Still hungry for more. Please help me welcome Did you eventually grow those calves? Founder and CEO of Nutrition Warehouse, husband, father, Grant Mayo. How are you, mate?
I'm awesome. Thanks. What an introduction. Thank you. I think we're done. Let's
We're
go.
done. We're going to wrap it up. Chris loves this.
Shortest podcast
Yeah,
ever.
but we'll squeeze every bit out of it. Well, look. Let's start with my first part of the podcast here is, obviously, you've introduced yourself. My name is Grant Mayo. So you're founder and CEO of Nutrition Warehouse, husband, father of Ruby. My daughter's name is Ruby.
Oh, nice.
How old's your daughter?
16 this year. The danger years.
How much when you find out they are truly rubies? There's a certain type of girl, when she's called Ruby, they're unique.
There's a few names for my daughter, Ruby, but yes, Ruby is what I call her most of the time.
Yeah, of course. My daughter's 22. She's a performing artist, and her nickname is Tiger. She loved tigers growing up, and and then you got Max, and I got a son called Yanni.
Crazy Max, yes.
Crazy Max. So I just want I want to ask you. Tell me a little bit, firstly, about your family. Tell me about being. Because you've said we'll get into founder and CEO of Nutrition Warehouse, but you've said husband, father too. So let's talk about your wife. I read on her something about Italian and something else.
Yeah, so Lara's got Italian heritage.
Yes.
So she loves anything Italian.
Yes.
If you go look at her Instagram, it's all about Italian.
Oh, yeah, anything Italian and natural stone.
Yes.
So tell us.
So, yeah. I met Lara, 13 years ago now.
Yeah, lovely.
A mate of mine, close friend of mine was... it was a Friday night, and he said, I'm up here with my boss, we're having a couple of drinks, but we're thinking about going out. Why don't you come with us? And I'm like, I'm happy doing what I'm doing tonight. I'm just going to do nothing.
Yeah.
And he kept pestering me, and okay, I'll come up for a drink. And then when I met him, I'm like, you didn't tell me boss was young, beautiful, and the name was Lara, of course. And he went, yeah, it's just my boss. But it wasn't just my boss. As soon as I saw her, I went, wow.
Wow,
And,
I love that. Go on.
And then that night, we're basically together, that night. And it's been a great journey for the last 13 years. And had I never taken up that offer to go for a drink that Friday night on the Gold Coast, then maybe it would never have happened. I would have never met Lara, and we wouldn't have the kids.
I love it. So tell me, did your mate, was he planning it? Or was it, do you think he was? Sometimes mates plan things. Do you think he planned it?
I don't think he did, no.
No, that's what I'm saying. He sounds innocent enough.
No, we're all great mates, and he was always up for a night out.
Okay.
And he's like searching for who we can bring out that night. And of course, he made the call to me and a few others. It wasn't just us three. It ended up being a whole group of people.
Wow.
So he wanted to party, and I joined it, and that night was a great night.
What, being that she was the boss, what did she do?
So CDK Stone is a natural stone company.
Yes.
So she's been there for, I think 15 years now, or close to 20, a long time since she was young. She's still young, obviously, but not as young as she was.
Of course.
So yeah, natural stone.
She just had a birthday.
Company.
She's a Cancerian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, she is. Natural stone.
4 seasons in one day. I know how these Cancerians work. Go ahead.
And she's been there. She's the state manager of Queensland and heads up that department. She loves it. And it's great for her because it intertwines with travel in Europe and anything Europe or Italy, because a lot of where they get the actual stone from is actually from the quarries in Europe. So she gets to travel a little bit and pick stone and source it from over there and bring it back to Australia.
Obviously, she's still doing that?
Yes.
Hey guys, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed, who is following us on all platforms, but especially here on YouTube. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, please, if you could do us a big favor, which helps us reach more people, get better, bigger, greater. We've already had some great guests anyway. Everyone's been a treat. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you're notified every week a new podcast that is launched. And I just want to say a big thank you. But again, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and enjoy watching Muscle Talks podcasts. We'll get to the kids in a second. I just want to ask, and this is a personal ask too, How does you as well, being an entrepreneur, CEO, has to jump on planes and leave each other. How do you build? And I do have a relationship interstate, funny enough, in the Gold Coast, and I've realised it's been rocky. Meaning, when I say rocky, not rocky. I think if we were together in the same state, it'd be different. But I've learned the only person I can trust is me. Not put the trust on her. How do you build that bond and that trust, knowing sometimes you've got to jump on a plane and part and trust that they got your back even when you're not there? Like, does that make sense what I'm trying to say to you? Because when you're a CEO, when you're the boss, you know, you're going into places that you got to mingle. People are there, they're wanting your attention, but you just got to have strong roots within you to know. And love is what carries that. But how do you deal with that? How do you deal with sometimes being in transit because she might be going, you might be going?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think Laura and I just know that whilst, you know, we're married and we have each other in the family, which is great, we've also got our own separate lives as well in terms of Nutrition Warehouse.
Yes.
You know, I need to be there to travel and to make sure that we move forward in that way. And I guess for Lara, it's the same. You know, she needs to do the same. So we're balancing that family, but hey, we've got our own lives outside of that. And if I didn't allow her to do that, or she didn't allow me to do that, then that would make both of us unhappy. So I guess whilst we're still partners, we understand that, you know, we need to allow each other to spread their wings and do what they need to do. And that comes with trust and, you know, great relationship.
Yeah, no, well, obviously, you've, like I said, and it's picking the right people, like in business, picking the right people, picking the right relationship, and being a dad, huh? Ruby and Max, how cool I saw some of your holiday photos. Obviously, you really want to show what a holiday looked like. Kids screaming, upset.
Oh, yes, that rule I made, yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, taking kids on holiday is, some say it's not really a holiday,
No,
you know, because, I mean, there's a different dynamic between going with you and your partner.
Wade pools. You want to go in the deep end, and before you know it, you're sliding down this little slippery dip that you can't fit in, but they've got you coming down it.
Yeah, but kids are great. I mean, honestly, I was one of those people, and if you asked me, you know, I was a late dad. I didn't have Ruby till I was like 40.
Yep.
And then Max at 50.
Yep.
So, but have you asked me before I met, you know, years ago in my 30s, do you want to be a dad? No would be the answer.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah, until it actually happened. Then, yeah, I just think I was probably too selfish with bodybuilding and what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I think once you have a child button that's in your arms, you just flip. The script flips and you're like, okay.
Everything has
this
a real
is awesome.
reason. Everything has
and now
a
I'm
purpose.
so grateful that I've got kids. Without the kids, then I think life for me personally would be not as exciting. It would be almost something missing.
Well, some of the deals...
So I'm grateful, very grateful.
Yeah, some of the deals you're doing now has purpose behind it. You're putting roofs overhead, feeding people. That's your family, clothing them. I mean, your deals now, the scars you put on yourself is standing before them. Does that make sense? So, you know, this is... Yeah, being a dad is an incredible feeling. It's funny because, you know, we all... I mean, you. I guess you said you knew you would be a bit clear, but I keep telling people we speak about goals. We all do. Like... I want to work for myself. I want to buy property. I want to own a Ferrari. I want to earn $500,000 a year, whatever you say. But some people, like myself, my underlying true goals were to be a dad and to get married. That was always, but no one voices those. But when you achieve it, it's a goal driven, it's a goal made. It's an achievement. Like you finding your lifelong partner, that's a goal. To have kids, I guess what you didn't expect it, is a goal. Like no one realizes we just keep putting these materialistic things before us. But because we feel foolish to be at a pub and the guy goes, I want to get a Ferrari, and you go, I want to have some kids one day. You go, yeah, wuss, what do you know about kids? You know, but underlying truth. And that's what cuts you the deal. That's what cuts all your deals now, because you've got generational now. Mayo can live on. I mean, why wouldn't you do? Not many people know. This is the other thing. I've watched businessmen, people, and I'm trying to do this, but it's a bit, you know, bumpy, but to leave a legacy. I mean, I've never mentioned this in the podcast. People said, if you ask me what's the ultimate dream for you for generations going forward, and you're going to say financial wealth. No, I would love, like the old days, they used to have a picture of that person on the mantelpiece and people go past and go, who is that guy? And someone says, oh, that's Steve Georges. And who's he? He's my great-great-grandfather. And what's his, why have I seen him in every family member's home, like the kids, and they said, oh, he's the one that made us believe we can do something. Like he made us optimistic. He made us not just wealthy, not just money, but just a feeling. And I've seen people that do that. They're very smart how they don't bank on this generation. They do everything to sign a check at the end of their lives to make the next generation just prosper. Packers did that. Like if you look at it carefully, some of the people that do it, it's not just about you. So like I said, it's a wonderful gift you've got. Like I said, I saw, you're having fun with them, dancing with them. I see your videos a lot about them. So congratulations on achieving a goal you probably didn't even know you were preparing for. No,
and honestly, it's the best goal. It wasn't really a goal, to be honest.
Yeah,
but
that's right.
I think it's the best feeling ever. I think being a parent and being a dad, it's just awesome. I mean, you come home to the kids and watch them grow up and change and evolve.
It gets better, man. It gets better too, I'll tell you now.
And then, Ruby turning into a young girl, and that's going to change again for me. And there's going to be moments that I'm going to be like, oh, she brings a boy home or something for the first time. That's going to be a different challenge for me to overcome.
I don't worry.
But all those things are part of life, and you have to take that challenge and run with it and appreciate it. And my main thing is, as long as the kids are healthy, that's the main thing.
Yeah, don't get too far ahead of yourself. But like I said, I've never looked back. I don't want to look back. I don't want to go, like, whether I missed it or not, it's so much happening now. Like I said, my daughter's, doing a performance soon, and I'm picking her up at 8 o'clock at night at Leichhardt at a theatre show she's preparing for. I wasn't on Saturday. I picked her up, and on the way back, some guy's doing this kebab thing, telling you where the best kebabs are in Australia, and it's in Mascot, is the number one kebabs. So my daughter goes, you want to have the number one kebab? I said, yeah. And she goes, I don't want a whole one though. I said, that's all right, we'll sit and share a half one each. So on the way home, rainy Saturday night, I'm picking her up at Leichhardt. I've got to go this way, but we've gone this way, and then we've pulled up at this kebab place, sat down, me and her, and we're sharing a kebab. That's my favorite Saturday night. That's what I mean. So I love
beautiful.
It is. Oh yes, it says to go to my phone, and there's a reason to go to my phone. So I'm just going to go to my phone, and it tells me. I know what I'm doing here now. And there's me. And this video. We're gonna.
You have little kids for 4 years, and if you miss it, it's done. That's it. So you got to know that. It's, lots of things in life you don't get to do more than once. Now, obviously you can have more than one child, but all I'm saying is that period between 0 and 4, 0 and 5, there's something about it that's really, it's like a peak experience in life. And it's much of your life. Because you think of it as a long time. It's not that long, and 4 years goes by so fast you can't believe it. And if you miss it, it's gone. So you miss it at your peril, and you don't get it back. You have little kids for 4 years.
So, tell me about that.
Makes me emotional just looking at it.
I know, I can see that. We do get good ratings with tears. I'll just let you know that. And I will push it as a reporter does. So tell me, should I wait for you to cry, or should we go into it? No, let's go into it.
It's just emotional because the kids have grown up a lot since some of those clips we're taking already, Yeah. And Jordan Peterson, who said that, and I just love that quote because it's really, as a parent, it does go so fast. You're pregnant 1 minute, you have the child, before you know it, they're 5 years old, they're 10 years old, like Ruby, and I'm just like, wow, where did that time go? Then it's looking at your own mortality too, thinking, well, they're not, Ruby's 15, but I'm 15 years older now than I was 15 years ago when that timeline. So it sets a nice timeline, I think, as a parent, to go, wow, your time is ticking, and not a spring chicken anymore. So it's a little bit about them, a little bit about me as well.
So if I had to ask, give us Ruby in a nutshell, just quickly, and tell us Max. What are they like?
Both of them are cut from the same cloth, very outrageous, funny, great personalities. they bring a room to life. They're joyous. Many friends. Make friends very easily. And I'm just really proud of both of them so far.
Do they do sleepovers? People coming over sleepovers, all that stuff?
Yeah, Ruby does a lot, not Max.
Yeah, Ruby, my daughter, I think we had a kid every weekend. And she would go sleepover. She was just a sleepover kid.
Yeah.
And even today, she's like that still at 22. Just amazing. But yeah, look, you'll as you get older, you're going to realize more how you fit in, because you've got to make yourself fit in because they get older, and before they just followed you, and then you've got to, like I said, pick my daughter up from her performing arts practice. Is my moment with her and have a kebab with her. It's the best Saturday night I've ever had, but I don't have those Saturday nights with her. So you just got to stop and go, yeah, we are doing this right now. Yeah. We're talking in the car, in transit. So yeah, it is about grabbing
just enjoying that journey, not just, it can be used in all analogies, but everything's fleeting. The bodybuilding, the youth, the kids.
Yeah, it's all fleeting, man.
The loves, they all come and go. When you look back and you go, wow, where did all that time go?
Yeah. So like I said, I think
someone listening to this 20 is probably like, what the fuck are they talking about?
No,
you don't realise this until you actually get into your 50s, I think, or 40s or 50s. You get a bit more mature and a bit older, because when you're young, you probably shouldn't be thinking about this. You should be living the time of your life.
Well, you're going to be doing some funny stuff. All right, we haven't got even into the bodybuilding business side, but this is what the podcast is. It's a conversation about us, or about you, really, and sharing it. But, I realised when my daughter started to go out, right? She's going out, she would say to me, can you pick me up at 3:00? Even if the phone rang, the one thing you got to learn, you'll be half asleep and the phone will ring, and she'll go, look, I live in a divorce. I say unfortunate because that wasn't my goal. Yep. So it is unfortunate. I'm happy. It's cool. It's just unfortunate, right? So she'll ring me and go, I'm out. Can you come pick me up? And you've got to not go arms and ahs. You just go, yep, where are you? Because the moment you question them, the next time they won't ring you and they'll go home with some guy who's drunk or go with another person. You need to be just on, always. Yeah, right. And on my way in, because I know her, because she's asked me before, she's already told her friends, I think my dad can take you home. And when I rock up, she goes, hey, can you take so-and-so and so-and-so home? Even though they're on the other side of the city. I go, yeah, get in, because I'm taking kids home. The moment, so my daughter, she's confident enough to go, it's 3:00 in the morning, she goes, I'm going to call my dad, right? I'm not going to say her mum will see through it. But I go, yeah. My phone's on. When they became old enough, my phone's on 24/7 now for them. It rings in the middle of the night, hello? Yep, no problem. And never have I said when she's got in tipsy, have you been drinking? Nothing. Do you want to go get a thick shake from McDonald's? Do you want a burger? Just stuff, it's got nothing to do. And one time I was at the Star Casino, she wanted to go out, and she was a bit nervous about it. And yeah, she's wearing a flimsy dress. You just got to go with it. Right? I'm going, all right, Rubes, all right, I'm in my head. She says, can you walk me to the door? I'm like, I haven't showered, man. I've got a flannel on. What are you talking about? I went, okay. So I get out of the car, What if I have to park it in a parking station and pay $20 to walk my daughter to the door? I'm not going to say anything to her. Walk up to the door. We're walking through the casino. No joke, there was a bit where they check everyone's ID. The guy goes, yeah, you can go through, mate. And I have to wait. She's down the back of the line, right? So I'm waiting. And then we go upstairs, and there's all these young kids, girls all dressed up. And I'm looking at the lights. I think, don't look at anything, Steve. You got your daughter here. What are you doing? And I got to the door and I said, do you want me to see if I can get you up the front of the line, because I've done some door work? She says, you can leave now. And you go, all right, see you later. And I left. Again, one time at an establishment in the city, I drove down, parked the car. She says, would you walk me to the door? I go, all right. So we walk through the city, As they're checking her ID and pass, I was talking to the doorman, having a bit of a chat. And I said to the doorman, I'm going to assign you to look after my daughter tonight, right? Big Maori guy. And he looks at me, he goes, any dad that drops off a kid at their front door is, I look after them like my own. I said, good idea, mate. I said, see you, Ruth. She goes, I'll call you later. Okay, call me later, whatever time. Mate, I don't care if it's 5 a.m. I don't care if it's 2 a.m. I don't care if it's, and usually she calls me at 11 now. She doesn't even hardly go out. But learn you
I'll
don't
take that on board.
take it on board. You do not question nothing. You just go, yep. And when they rock up and there's a few kids that you got to get home and she hasn't told you, but she's told her friends, my dad will say yes. You're saying yes.
Yep.
Even if it's another half-hour drive and you're tired, you're in your pajamas, whatever it is, it does not matter, because that's thankfully that's what I have with my daughter. Just always. So I'm very lucky with that. So you're 56 strong. You grew up in Newcastle, born and bred, in a working class family, and that is Newcastle. Do you follow the Newcastle Knights?
No.
Okay, there you go. We didn't have much. Money was always tight. And I saw firsthand how hard my parents worked just to get by. That shaped me early. I knew if I wanted something more out of life, I'd have to earn it. Can you just tell us a little bit about growing up, Newcastle, parents?
Yep. Yeah, like I said, working class family. Dad actually wanted to be a police officer, but back in those days they had height restrictions.
Oh yes, they had to be 6 foot.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was, but Dad was too short, so become a security guard. So I still remember him coming home at all hours of the night, with the gun by his side and things like that. But I think it still ate at him for many years that he wanted to be a police officer, but he couldn't. So he missed that, unfortunately.
He could do it now.
He could do it now.
As a cop, yeah.
So yeah, and we always struggled as a family. So financially, we had a roof over our heads, and we had food on the table.
Everything you needed.
It wasn't dire straits, but I guess examples would be, I want to do karate, So I'm not sure how I fell into that, but I said, Mum, I want to join karate. Can't afford the uniform, can't afford the lessons. Oh, okay. I want to do something else, which, and sorry, can't do it. You know what I mean? I think it was the Scouts at the time, but it's probably lucky she said.
Or even getting the latest BMX, a mongoose or a diamondback, but your parents go to Kmart to get the closest thing you can.
I mean, I see kids today and they've got 20 pair of shoes. I'm pretty sure I had one pair of shoes for 12 months. Once they wore out and the soles were hanging off, then so things like that. I guess I could see that we didn't have a lot of money. We had
we didn't have
one car. Dad worked tirelessly, and then I guess that set me on started to sink ideas in my head, I guess. So I was definitely the kid that was doing the paper run to earn some cash, or the golf course. I used to go to the I think it was the Shortland golf course there in Newcastle, and I'd be in the bushes looking for golf balls, and then go into the pro shop, cleaning them and sell them to the pro shop, and using that cash, for entertainment. Probably the pinball machines back in those days.
Space Invaders.
Just to get through, and have something. So pretty lower middle class family, I would say, if you ask Mum, and my brother would say the same thing if you speak to him. So I think that set a tune, to how am I going to get forward? How am I going to move forward in this life? But it wasn't too many years later that sort of come to fruition. But it sort of set the tone, I guess. But other than that, happy family, brother, sister. Newcastle was a great place to grow up. Met lots of great friends there. And I used to be into cars, When I turned 18, I brought a LH Tirana.
God. Was it GDR?
It was a LX or LH SLR 5.
SLR 5000. Was it GDR is the, I know which is the GDR, XU1s.
Yeah, XU1s.
The XU1s. You had an SLR.
SLR 5000. So
with the hot wires on it?
I brought that myself for, a couple of $1,000. End up doing it up.
Yeah.
And I started going to car shows.
What colour was it?
It was red.
And what did you have?
Same colour as in Nutrition Warehouse.
Yeah, funny on that. What were the rims on it? Simmons?
Got no idea. We're talking too long ago now. But I used to love that car, and I cruised around the streets of Newcastle when I was 18. And
that was hot. The SLR 5000. I was a Ford guy. I was into Falcons, but I had Valiant. I had a Valiant Pacer. I don't know if you knew the Pacers.
You know what Ford stands for, right?
Tell me.
Full of rust, dickhead.
Yeah.
That's from the car days.
What was Holden?
Just Holden together, I think.
Holden, yeah. Did you like Bathurst?
Yes. I mean, used to watch it all the time.
Were you obviously Brocky fan, and I was a Dick Johnson fan?
That would have been the case.
05 and 17.
If we knew each other back then, we'd be fighting Ford. You'd be wearing the Ford hat. I'd be wearing the Holden hat, Brocky.
Did you ever go to Bathurst?
Once.
Me too. How good is it?
It was awesome. Yeah.
It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Were you up on the hill? I was up on the hill. Or did you go when you were loaded with the corporate boxes?
No corporate boxes. I'm talking 3 decades ago when I would have went. So, yeah, it would have been on the grass.
I went inside 10 years now. Guys, and I took camping gear. So we stayed up on the mountain, but I went with a bunch of men that some were like, businessmen, astute, but when you were up there, all your language changed. If it wasn't, you name it, like it was literally we could say anything we want, act as ever we want, but there was a respect on the mountain, like all the hoons up there, no one caused trouble. No one harassed women, no one harassed kids, no one harassed anyone. And on a certain part of the hill, everyone had set up their own cabanas. And they even put televisions in their cabanas when you couldn't see the race around the track. And everyone had like theatre-driven seats. You bring your own seats and you set it up and everyone bring their beers in there. And it was just like going in a stadium, but it was up on the hill. It was incredibly done. I really enjoyed it. And everyone put in money. So the food, it was catered. So we gave like $200. So they had like 10 guys, $2,000. And then they had everything, bacon, eggs, dinners.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, it was. And you shared your drinks and everyone went around. Like it was awesome. But yeah, Bathurst was incredible, wasn't it? So SLR 5000, hooning around.
Yeah, hooning
Newcastle
around.
boy.
Yeah, Newcastle boy. And then, that's basically how, and then I gave up, I ended up selling that car actually to go to the Mr. Universe in 98 to compete because I didn't have any money. So once, jumping forward now, but end up selling that car unfortunately for about $5,000 or $6,000 so I could afford the airfare and accommodation.
It's probably worth 95 grand now.
Maybe probably worth 100.
Yeah, 100 grand, easy. 120.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah,
You're going to get yourself one again?
No, never.
Oh, God. Come on. All right. Well, what car have I got downstairs to take you to the airport later? I better change it.
So yeah, that's how I guess that's where I started in Newcastle. And I guess then I, had my 21st birthday. And then a friend of mine gave me a weight set.
Yeah.
And started to lift a few weights there and, look at it and, it's just a bar and some dumbbells. It wasn't anything
Samson equipment, I bet you.
exciting, you know what I mean? It was... And then, unfortunately, I had one of those phone calls that no one ever wants to get. That,
Take your time, man.
It's amazing. After all these decades, I still get choked up that Dad was rushed to hospital. He presented at the doctor's with, I'm not sure why he presented, but I assume it was heart trouble.
Yeah.
And they said get straight to emergency. So he took himself straight to emergency. So obviously me and the kids went in there and we saw him was lying in the bed. He seemed fine, and gave him a kiss and cuddle, said we'll see you tomorrow. And that night he went to have a shower and had a massive heart attack and then died right there and then. I never saw him again.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, it's a tough time. And I guess I've never really gotten over it because I'm still like this today. It's part of my life that, I guess anyone that loses a parent can attest to the pain that they feel. And unfortunately, or fortunately for Dad, 4 years prior to that, we didn't really see much of him because Mum and Dad had broken up.
Yeah.
So he went to the Philippines and opened up a nightclub with 3 of his mates. So
wow.
For 4 years, he was probably living the fucking time of his life, having a great time. Then he met a lovely lady and come home, and then within 12 months, he had passed. So yeah, we didn't really get to see much of Dad around then, unfortunately. And he'd passed, and I guess he left me one gift, which I talk about, which is basically, once Dad passed, I sort of look at his lifestyle and I thought, why did he pass for? He's only 42 years old. He wasn't an old man. He was young. And then I started to realize he was drinking heavily, you know, eating processed foods, you know, wasn't training, wasn't exercising. And in those days, you know, no one really did. It's only been the last 2-3 decades that health and fitness has risen to where it is today, where there's a gym on every corner, or we're talking about supplementation.
Old people are paying the price now, trust me for that. But go ahead.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I looked at that and I went, well, okay, I don't want to. And the gift that Dad left me was basically made me look at my own mortality and go, okay, well, if Dad passed at 42, I don't want to die at 42. I'm 21 years old. I've only got, 20 years to live if that's the case. So I joined a local gym. Joined a gym in Newcastle. Can't even think of the gym name, but it's only a small gym. You know, gyms back in.
They never had a real cool name anyway back then. We just didn't know what the names were. It could have been called Pump Gym, and you go, all right, that's what it's called.
It's only a small gym.
No one really cared what they were called, as long as it had what you needed.
It was 1991, roughly, give or take a year or two.
Yeah, so you were 21, I'm 20.
I was 21. And I started to train. A few mates were supposed to come with me, and they did it first, and then after a couple of months they bowed out, and physically, and I actually liked the gym, the process of it, pumping iron, and my body started to change. And I was eating healthy foods. Prior to that I was eating meat pies and hot dogs, and then I started to eat chicken and rice, and talk to other bodybuilders or guys try and look after themselves in the gym, because you got to remember back then there's no social media, there's no internet. No. It's magazines. And that's when one day I picked up a magazine in the foyer waiting for my mates to turn up, and I'm like, far out, look at these guys in this magazine.
Yeah.
There was Arnold and Franco Columbia and that one, and I'm like, I'm tall, 6'2", so I was like, but
we're all thinking that too.
Franco Columbia was, like 5'4", and I'm like, okay, well I'm 5'7", so maybe I've got a chance here, And I think from that day on, it sort of put an epiphany in my brain, and I went, I'm going to be a bodybuilder. I'm going to try and lift weights, build my muscles, Now, if you see me back then, I was soaking wet, like 56, 57 kilo. Whole family's quite thin. My brother's tall but very thin. Well, I'm short and I was very thin.
Yep.
But I wanted to change that. I didn't want to have a weak body, I guess. And I guess that started from my dad. I didn't think it would turn into bodybuilding. I was just going to get health and fit, I guess. But those weights I fell in love with the feeling of lifting heavier weights, getting stronger, seeing my chest evolve and my body. And quite rapidly, I started to change.
Yeah.
And my body, went from 57 kilo to 60 and 60 to 65. And then a few guys in the gym were like, Grant, you've been here a couple of years now. You've put on 10, 15 kilo. Like, you've talked about competing for a couple of years. I think it's time you did.
Wow.
And that led me down the bodybuilding path and of competing. So
it's funny because no one ever told me to compete, but we're not. And I think we're listening to your story. I just want to say a bit about your dad. Sad days should stay sad days. I've told that to my kids as well. Like I said to them, when me and Mum broke up, that's the worst day of our lives. But let's make all the other ones good. We can still keep one shit day of our lives, but let's make the rest good. So that is a fucking shit day that happened with your dad. So I'm so sorry. And you should feel emotional, and it should never change, no matter how many times you talk about it. I mean, I'm not here to tell you I've lost both my parents, unfortunately. My dad most recently, obviously during COVID, but he had a heart attack, same as your dad, at the same time. And my dad made it out of it. It changed him a lot. But it also showed how fragile we can be. But, when we go back to the gym, I mean, no one told me to go train, but I didn't. The one thing I knew was, I don't know about you, maybe you can testify with me, we just never knew where the finish line was. Sure, we looked at the magazines, but we never looked at the magazines like, oh, that's steroids. We looked at it literally like, we knew it was fuel. And we knew it was training. We knew just the fundamentals. We knew it was that, and we exhausted naturally. Whoever did, whatever. We never thought. Hey guys, Steve here. You know how much I love food. Food is very important to me. I'm an advocate for good food, good quality food, well-priced, well-valued food. And this is it. Macro Foods. I've searched long and hard and I found it. It took a while, but I finally found the best. Macro Foods, ready-made meals that actually hit your macros. Tasty, high-protein meals designed to fuel your goals without the prep time. Head to Macro Foods, that's with a Z, macrofoods.com.au and use code MTP10 for 10% off your order. I'm serious, guys. Only seek the best, eat the best, and promote the best. Macro Foods, macrofoods.com.au. Go now. Use code MTP10 for 10% off all your orders. Hey guys, Nutrition Warehouse, not your average supplement store. If you're serious about lifting, this is the place. With over 120 stores across Australia and New Zealand, and founded by former Mr. World Grant Mayo, Nutrition Warehouse is built for lifters who mean business. Shop in store or online at nutritionwarehouse.com.au. And while you're there, grab a cheeky 50% off at checkout. Use code MUSCLETALKS. That's Muscle Talks either online or in store. Hey guys, how important is hydration? How important is water? Alka Power, Australia's #1 alkaline water, trusted for its high pH and ultra hydrating benefits. Whether you're training, recovering, or just staying sharp, Alka Power helps keep your body in balance, hydrated. Find it in major supermarkets, health food stores, and selected petrol stations across Australia. Australia's #1 alkaline water. So important, alkaline water. I can't stress it enough. High in pH, ultra hydrating. Australia's #1 alkaline, comes in various sizes. And if you'd like to learn more, go to alkapower.com.au. No one has ever asked Sean Ray, what have you taken? I've had him on the past. I can't be bothered asking. I still believe, like even Miloš, I was shocked to know through his whole Yugoslavian bodybuilding career, until he went to America, he was still natural, believing Arnold was natural. Even when he was in America, he said, I would fight tooth and nail, telling people, no way, no, Arnold is natural. But because it wasn't front and center, right? So, but the thing is, it's funny because I'm listening to your story of training. You didn't even know how long it would take. No one knows how long bodybuilding takes. We just turn up in our Converse shoes. That was the ripped up tracksuits, sweaty as hell, training in unair-conditioned gyms. We didn't have mirrors to look at. We just went with the pump, right? We just felt the pump, right? But that's, I suppose what I was going to ask is, isn't it funny how we just never knew how long this would take, but it seemed it took the length of time for us to engage in it and continually engage in it. And I'm going to ask your opinion on this as well, but I listen to people tell me now, I mean, look at both of us, right? You're 56, I'm 56 right now. I mean, you could look at us both, but I'm sure if we took our top off for 56 and we wanted to pump up, or we decided to do a strict diet for the next 12 weeks, we could alter a lot of stuff. But these people talk about seasons. We did decades of wanting to go to this place. And it was about maintaining the growth, hitting the growth, but somehow it was our playground. I don't know, like we just wanted to be there, like brushing teeth, having it wasn't a season to it. Like I say to myself, you might think you're in it right now, your first season of bodybuilding, your first 2 years of bodybuilding. Woohoo! Let me see you 20, 30 years later, when it really counts, because that's when you build foundation. What do you think about today's with their bodybuilding? There, probably maybe lack of patience. Do you think so?
I guess my version is even when I started that journey of bodybuilding, getting into the gym, I noticed I would talk to a lot of people. And there was a couple of young guys, I can't remember their names now, but I'd be like, how long have you been training for? And they'd be like 10 years. And I'd be looking at them going, ain't fucking going to look like that in 10 years.
There was also that.
They were like, put on some size, but they hadn't put on some serious size.
Yeah,
I guess.
there is. Yeah.
And maybe that wasn't their goal. My goal, once I found bodybuilding, was to put on as much size as humanly possible to match what I saw in the magazines.
Yeah.
So that was my goal. So I went after it pretty hard.
Yeah.
And set those goals early. What was your question?
No. I guess let me go with that one for a sec. For me, I just saw, like you said, look, I'm 5'10", 5'11" on a good day, and I'll tell you, I'm 80. I was 81 kilos every day of the week, 81. But obliques, abs, arms, I looked bigger than I do 90 kilos. I'm 89 kilos now, and I looked bigger when I was 81 kilos. It's an illusion, right? But the thing was, it was always about growth. It was always about reflection on what you look like in the past. And I know people today that have been training, and you think, yeah, how long have you been training for? Obviously you either go in the gym and you're trying to do life-altering changes. But that comes down to what I found out when I asked Terry Mitsos. The first thing when I asked him about how to grow, the first thing he said to me is, "What are you eating?" And he goes, "You're going to be having 6 egg whites in the morning." When I heard that, I went, "What? What's wrong with cornflakes? What's wrong with cornflakes?" He's like, "You're going to have 6 egg whites in the morning." And I go home, and I'm obviously 19, 20. I said to my mum, "We're going to get eggs." And my mum was so shocked by me eating 6 egg whites every morning that she actually got the local farmer to come with his truck and deliver once a fortnight a big box of eggs, because she goes, "I can't afford this. I have to go to the supermarket and buying a tray every time." So I guess what I'm trying to say is, yeah, like you were trying to break the code, and the code was always about food, and it was always about the training, and it was always about, I didn't drink in my 20s, really. I didn't. Yeah. If I went out, my mates, they used to get pissed off. They didn't understand that. "What do you want to drink?" "Oh, just mineral water." "Oh, fuck, you're a loser, mate. Like, we're here drinking beers." And you go, "Yeah." And that was hard. So what I mean is, do you think today they want it too quick, maybe? But also, I understand their disciplines, but Terry said they're not having fun. Terry also still had fun, he said. He would still go have fun.
I guess the people are not having fun and maybe actually doing it for other reasons, not for themselves. I find anything in life that if you're going to do something for a decade, let's face it, to be a great bodybuilder, it takes a decade.
It takes a decade.
100%. To run a business, just from a startup to getting it to it, takes a decade. Everything's a decade. There's no overnight successes. No. There's some freaks out there, of course, that they can do it a little bit quicker, but they've still been training for a long time prior. Do they want it too quick? I think the world has changed slightly since we were younger. And everything, is on social media, and, they want it quicker than we did.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with wanting it quicker, as long as you're putting in the work, I think,
Double
as well.
the speed.
You know what I mean? Mm. If I could have shortened my journey, I would have done that. But I think with bodybuilding, there's only one way to do it, You've got to train, recover, eat the right foods, and keep doing that. And the people who get there quicker have better genetics than the ones that don't.
100%.
And the other part of it is that you really have to love what you're doing, because if you do it for, like I said, a decade, you really need to actually love it internally and turn up each day at the gym, cooking your food, 100%. Recovering, saying no to the drinks, saying no to going out, because you have a goal to hit, whether it's next year or in 10 years' time. Yeah. And anything that interferes with that goal is going to get in the way.
100%.
So I think it's hard to balance the two. If you really want to be a great bodybuilder, then you have to put everything else aside and live like a monk. Yeah. And then people may come out of the woodwork and go, "Oh, you're crazy," or this, but it depends if you listen to them and their goals, or you chase your own goal. And that's tough to do, because you've got a good group of friends, like you said, that you want to go out drinking. And part of you does too, and wanting to have fun.
Who doesn't?
But it depends what you want more.
Yeah.
And I guess now, when I sort of gave up that 10 years of my life to be the Grant Mayo bodybuilder, I could have had a lot of fun in that 10 years. I was in my 20s.
100%.
However, I wouldn't have those titles.
Yeah.
So I'd prefer to have those titles because that led me, to other things in life.
Yeah.
Whether I didn't have the titles, would we even be sitting here right now?
100%.
No, because I had no titles.
No, 100%. And look, I also, numbers don't lie. We live a world of numbers. You might not know, but that's the universal language. I'll give you an example. Your age, your height, your weight, everything is a number. How many steps to that front door and back. So I tell people, if you want something and you want it quicker, you're going to have to double it. And I'll use this example. How long does it take to drive to Queensland? What, 10 hours? It's 10 hours. But that's telling you that's at 110 kilometres an hour. So I can get to Queensland literally in 5 hours if I go 220 kilometres an hour. That's the truth. If I take the car to 220 kilometres, no police stop me, straight line, whatever it is, I will do it in 5 hours because I've doubled the speed. So quarter of the speed more, double another 5.5% of the speed, 50% more of the speed is going to reduce my time. I drive slower, it's going to be longer. So some people don't understand that, you can probably get quicker success than me if you're willing to drop the gauntlet and put the work in. So people say, I want it quicker. I said, yeah, it's possible. Then deliver quicker. Deliver your yes quicker. Take your risks quicker. Make your losses quicker. Pull the Band-Aid off quicker. But instead, people think too much. You know what I mean? Analysis to paralysis. It's sometimes just better to just get the no quick or get the yes quick. And that's kind of like with bodybuilding too. I mean, you're not going to beat time if you're training like you guys. What we were doing here, we were training sometimes twice a day. We go in the morning and we go at night.
Not me.
No. Well, I didn't do. Well, I didn't compete, but I did try it. But it's very hard. Yeah. But we tried. But Lee talks about it. A few people talk about it, right? But at the end of the day, you can't beat the numbers of how much you got to eat, what you got to lift, how many times you got to go to the gym. All that stuff is a mathematics.
Correct. Agreed.
Yeah. So let's talk about. Well, before I go into your competition, I wanted to know: did you know Lee Priest before? Did you know him in the area? Obviously you started at 21, but Lee started at the age of, 13, 14. I guess, did you hear about him? Did you know about him?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Lee Priest. Oh my God. So yes, I guess, as I got better in bodybuilding, and, one of the supposedly best in Newcastle, but there was always Lee Priest. Yes. So you're never going to be the best. Yeah. You're going to be second best all the time.
Yeah.
The first time I saw Lee Priest was at, I think it was, I'm not sure what year it was, but it was the East Coast IFBB bodybuilding champions where I was a spectator before I competed.
Yeah. I'm going to open up one of the camps.
And everyone walked out and competed on stage, and then Lee Priest walked out. And then
what was that like?
It was just like kindergarten and college. Night and day, black and white. There was no bodybuilding show after that. It was just Lee Priest show. It was phenomenal. At a young age, you go look at his photos from 14, 17, 21. He was just phenomenal. So yes, I knew of him. He didn't know of me. I used to know a mutual friend, Paul Randall. So we used to train at Genetics Gym down in Warners Bay, and Lee would come in sometimes, and everyone would just stop and stare, including myself. But I still remember one day before Lee went overseas to compete as a professional, or he was going to compete as an amateur. Yeah. Then they gave him his pro card. I'm sure you know that story.
Yeah.
There was a photo session. I think it was Paul Randall had the camera, but I was there and we were taking photos. I think we got a couple of photos together. But I saw that, and then Lee Priest went overseas, and then the rest is history. He never come back because he was so phenomenal. But for me to stand there, with him, again, it was night and day. You know what I mean? Me to Lee Priest was night and day. Lee was just a phenomenon that you'll probably never see again in Australia for another 100 years.
Yeah, no, you won't.
Yeah, so we didn't know him. But you look at some people and go, well, I'll use him for motivation. Lee was really hard to use as motivation because he was that far ahead.
Yeah.
So it was like, I can never be like that.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of the reasons why I probably never actually wanted to turn pro bodybuilder.
Who's this?
Me.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I wasn't Lee Priest caliber. I was Australian caliber. Then why turn pro?
Isn't that amazing? You, Justin Wessels, and Terry Mitzos have said the same things.
Really?
Why turn pro?
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Justin Wessels turned pro at 45. Terry Mitzos was offered pro many times. He said no. Because he wanted to exhaust the amateur part. And he knew, they all knew, to go overseas and be a pro required a different element of gear, mindset, and a different element of, am I going to be happy being 17th in a lineup?
Yeah.
Right? When I'm getting
there's
great
a tough-
sponsorships at being number one in Australia, number two in Australia, people are coming to me, paying me to sell their supplements, because that back then it wasn't about collaborations, it was paying them. Terry was on good money, as well as having a gym. He was talking about in the 90s being on 100 grand a year, and didn't say it like shyly to me, like pretend. He was like talking in general, like saying, wow, I can't believe. And they were backing him. At one stage, he said the IFBB was trying to take the sponsorship off him, and the sponsors chose Terry over sponsoring an event. Like they said, we're not going to give up the number one guy in Australia, like right now. So it's just amazing that, and this is where I was telling someone at the gym a few days ago, he hasn't even competed yet. I said, how about you become the best amateur? Because I don't want to think like that. I don't want to think Olympia. I said, man, these guys are if they are given a pro card on their first show, they're taking it. Because it sits beautifully maybe on their IG. Maybe they think they're going to achieve something, but it's getting washed out. But like I said, you guys, I applaud that. I first I didn't even know what pro, but no one respects amateur league. No one respects that you can go and do IFBB amateur, NABA amateur. You can go to any show, but once you've got a pro card and you've aligned, well, go and good luck at that. Good luck at packing your bags and paying registration fees and possibly feeling alone now. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what do you think about that with people just focused on this pro card, and I think it affects our amateur league because once you're a pro, you can't come back and compete, right? Yeah. So
I think it's changed a lot over the years. And look, I'm not so much focused on the bodybuilding game these days.
Of course not.
I don't follow it like I used to. However, I guess my opinion would be that in our days, there was only, I think it was no pro cards back in our days.
Yeah,
I mean, realistically, Lee had to go overseas to get his pro card.
He did, yeah.
I think the pro card started to emerge as I was, exiting the sport. But your pro card was seen like the golden ticket. Like there's one a year, in the IFBB.
Yeah.
And that was it. And if you got your pro card, many would think that would be outrageously awesome. But then it's what do you do with that pro card is the secondary part of it. I think today, because there's so many federations, there's like 20 federations, that the pro card has been watered down over the years.
Maybe to hook them in and keep them in a federation.
Of course. At the end of the day, they're a business at the end of the day.
Yeah. It is a business. Yeah.
And they want to get people excited and get their pro card. It's what you can do with that pro card at the end of the day. And I think obviously everyone looks at the pro card, IFBB pro card, Mr. Olympia, but there's a wealth of different pro cards these days. I guess it's up to individual. If they find value in it and they love it and they feel that they belong and they deserve it, and that's great for them.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take that away from them.
No, I don't want to take away from them.
I think it's great that they have something to have purpose in life to go after it. And if that pro card is something they want to have on their mantelpiece to say they're a pro, just like I was Mr. World back in the day, then I think that's a tick for them. I think, but the prestige has come out of it a little bit when it comes to the IFBB, and I believe.
Yeah. Well, Terry said to me, again, I don't mean to bring him up, but I think about it. I've done over 100 podcasts, and I'm still getting blown away. He said to me he was offered it, and he said no because he hadn't gotten Mr. Universe yet. He hadn't exhausted the NABA side that he wanted to exhaust.
Yeah.
and the Mr. Australia titles, all that stuff. And he said the Olympia was so far out that way, he hadn't yet hit the goals he wanted to hit before he was wanting to pursue one last finish, which is the Olympia stage. But he didn't want the Olympia stage to overshadow all the other high-end bodybuilding accomplishments, accolades that he could achieve.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with the name Shane Stratton. Shane Stratton was NABA Mr. Universe. So we used to train together. Still remember training with Shane when I was up and coming. First time we trained, he said, "You're not training hard enough." I said, "Yes, I fucking am." Like,
Wow.
I've already won the Australia, stuff like that. And so we went and done legs. And then I vomited everywhere out in the car park. And I went, "Okay, I'm not training."
Wow, that's a John Brown thing too with Sean Ray. Yeah.
So he taught me how to train, took me under his wing. And then he was the one that really said to me, like, because probably back then maybe I was thinking about pro, you know what I mean? But he's like, it's better to be a good amateur than a bad pro.
Yeah.
And I went, oh, yeah.
Justin Wessel said the same thing.
Because that's basically what you're going to end up, Mayo. You know what I mean? You're not going to be a good pro. Look at Lee Priest and all these other guys, Sean Ray. You're not at that caliber. And the good thing about, so I was with the IFBB then, and that's when I switched to NABA. He said, go into NABA. I said, why? And he goes, you get to travel the world. Right now, if you win, Mr. Australia, if you place in your class or the overall, you'll go into the world titles or the universe titles in either England, Greece, or all around the world. And that hit home for me. And I went, okay, let's just do that. So I changed. And at that time, I was 3 times runner-up Mr. Australia, I think, the IFBB. So it was probably my turn, but then I switched federations. They love that.
They wouldn't have loved it. We know they didn't.
And then I went to NABA. And that's one of the reasons I went to NABA, basically, is because Shane Stratton basically said, it's better to travel the world, see the world. And he said, another thing that stuck with me, if you're good enough in NABA and you win the worlds and the universe, the IFBB will take you back in a jiffy.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I said the same thing to Cooper.
So I went, okay, I'm going to try that because traveling the world and seeing different parts of the world. And back then, I hadn't traveled a lot at all, never been overseas actually until NABA sent me overseas. So that's one of the reasons I focused on traveling and experiences, a bit like.
I love it. All you guys have travelled with NABA, but it's funny, Bodybuilding Amateur Show, if I told you Chris Cormier's list of travels, if I told you Milosh's travels, if I told you half of these guys saw the world as an amateur. Sean Ray was different when I spoke to Sean Ray. That's why he could do 13 Olympias and be top 5. He didn't waste, he came, but he just focused on that and that he was good at that. That was, like you said, Lee Priest as well. But Lee Priest saw the world as well. But obviously we were recently at the NABA show, and I mean, wow, if that can be a first show which didn't get the attendance it should get, didn't get everything it should get, but got exactly where foundations start. So, like Field of Dreams with Kevin Costner, if you build it, they will come.
Yep.
Well, this is what it was. They built it. But what happened to NABA? What happened to it? Where was it? I don't know, because I don't follow bodybuilding. I mean, I've only followed bodybuilding during a podcast. I was just a guy that waxed his body, trained, ripped up, bulked up, and just knew, this is going to sound strange. In my 2000s, I was so focused on business, right? Setting up my juice bar. In the late 90s, I didn't even know who Ronnie Coleman was. I'm telling you, because it wasn't, I'm just telling you, I didn't know. I knew Dorian Yates.
Yep.
Yeah. I knew
King.
Yeah, I knew Lee Haney. Yeah. I knew Lee Priest, but I knew Sean Ray. I knew Lee Lambrada. I knew Gaspari. I knew Arnold, obviously. Franco Colombo. But then I didn't even know, I'm not trying to be rude here. I love these. I've researched them now. I didn't even know who Chris Cormier was. I didn't know how good it was. I did know when I saw Flex, the Sultan of Symmetry, and I did know Kevin Levrone. When I saw that physique, I was attracted to those kind of physiques. As for Ronnie Coleman, he just seemed so unattainable. It just looked like a freak of nature. But I was just into, young family, business, property, and bodybuilding, but
Yeah.
as my thing, you know, like shower and shave and brushing my teeth. You know, I love going to the gym. It was all personal. I didn't follow magazines. I didn't do, yes, you know, when I was coming up and have posters on the walls, it was different. My posters were bodybuilders on motorcycles, and I've got motorcycles and I'm trying to be a bodybuilder. And I've got a beautiful girl that can sit on the back, but it took a bit of time. but the thing is, where was I going with this?
NABA. What happened to NABA?
NABA, yeah, what happened to NABA?
Yeah. Well, I don't have the exact answer.
Yeah.
In 2004, my last comp in 2004, it was still pretty big in Australia.
Yeah, I'm surprised how many of you bodybuilders talk about it, but where did it go?
I'm guessing, and then I took my eye off the ball too. After that, obviously, I went into business.
Yeah, of course.
So I was busy.
Yeah, we're busy.
With the startup, and so I think what happened is there was a couple of change of guards.
Yeah.
You know, who was running it. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say anything bad about who was running it because I'm not even sure. You know what I mean? Who was running it?
I wouldn't know.
But I think that whatever happened there was some good or bad decisions made, which made NABA start to disappear. Now, all these years later, Maria and her team has taken over NABA. And
wow, what a feat.
And, you know, as you just said, we all met down there at the NABA Worlds only a few months ago, where they actually done something which I thought was incredible, which is they got the greats. And I say the greats because I inverted commas because I hate talking about myself as a great because I'm just Grant. But, you know, Lee Priest, you know, John Torelli, Justin Wessels, Nick Jones, you know, the world champions, the Mr. Universes of NABA. And they brought them all back.
Ioannidis and all that.
Yep. Sammy.
And what's his name? I was going to get him on the podcast, couldn't get him on. He didn't turn up that day, unfortunately.
But what they did, what actually
What did
made me feel special after all these years, is they brought us back and, but basically like a bodybuilding ceremony, gave us some great NABA rings, got us up on stage.
I thought it was unreal.
It was awesome. I had the best day. It was.
Actually, honestly, I felt like you guys were royalty, but deservingly so. But in real life,
yeah,
like I just sat down anywhere.
I felt like royalty.
Yeah.
The strange thing for me is like, you know, sitting with Sammy, Lee Priest, I honestly felt out of place because those guys are the guys I would look at the magazines and go, oh my God, I want to be like these guys. You know, how do I do that? You know, and to be sitting with them and getting, you know, a ring, you know, commemorating our time in NABA was something that I'm grateful for, but also, why am I here?
Well, I'll tell you something. When I saw you there, that's when I knew, wow, you must have done something with NABA because I didn't know what you did, right?
Yeah,
I just know you as a nutrition
fair,
warehouse.
yep.
Fair enough. But I've been to a lot of shows, and I think that's where they fall short, not paying homage to the greats of supporting that show. So I really liked seeing you guys there, sneaking up to chat to you guys. And obviously they were putting some food in front of you guys to eat. They were treating you, doing some water. I thought, fucking oath. But I'll be honest with you, from behind watching, no wonder Lee Priest looked like Mr. Olympia. All you guys had small shoulders. Lee Priest, he still looks like, from behind.
He's still a beast.
You guys are all next to there's Lee Priest, and he's still a beast.
Hey guys, as I chow down on macro foods, your true source of macro and micronutrients, I'm chowing down on teriyaki chicken. 7 grams of carbs, 50 grams of protein, and only 334 calories. You know, you got no excuse to not get your meals in, and I'm a true advocate for about 5 meals a day. I always get my meals in, and to make sure you get your meals in, you go to macrofoods.com.au and order now. Use code MTP10 to get 10% off. macrofoods.com.au Use code MTP10 to get 10% off. Go get yours now.
Yeah, with NABA, it's great that Maria's, it's funny, they're around my area in San Susi. I see them all the time, right? But I tell you what, the next day, after that cruise, wow. Like, I used to say, how come when rugby league have a finish of a season, everyone goes and celebrates NBA. Like, bodybuilding never seems to have, like, it's a national show or a world show, and it's over, and everyone goes, but no one gets together. All right, don't drink. Have party pies and mineral water. All right, that's the worst we can do. But I really believe the organisers need to do more for bringing the athletes together after a big. People are flowing in. People have spent so much money, and you can't put on a little event. I'm not saying do a harbour cruise. That was overkill, but that was great. But you could just book a hall, something, and cater it, and say thank you. And everyone, because I think that's what keeps the sport engaged.
Well, that's how you build community.
Yeah.
You don't do it by just running an event and then everyone goes home. You build community by talking, mingling, getting to know other people outside of the competition. So I think what they done was exceptional.
And also, I've watched it. Once the bikini girls are finished, everyone's going home. Meaning, before the big, because they're trying to make money from families coming in, your family buying 5 tickets. But once you've seen Brian compete, sometimes you go outside, do in front of the IFBB, hold the flowers, everyone's cheering, and they leave. But if you did an event after it, like a social event, maybe everyone will stay for the after party or turn up. Like I said, I think they've got to. I've said this years ago. I said, Chris, maybe we should do the after parties. Get everyone to come to the after party. Just have sponsors there as well, because I think the sponsors would appreciate it too. People turning up, like whatever it is you're doing. I think there's more to it than just getting people up on stage. And I don't know. I just think Maria seems to be building a community. NBA is building a community in the natural world too. They're doing a really good job. I have to say both are good. And I think inclusion. So I don't know, maybe federations need to look at what inclusion looks like. And I think that's what's going to make the sport grow. But like I said, I had a blast. Like I said, I wasn't expecting much, but it was great. One day you stumbled across a bodybuilding magazine with Arnold Schwarzenegger on the cover, and you were hooked. I wanted to be a bodybuilder, and I trained hard, competed. Within a few years, I was on stage winning. I went on, and your first competition was 1993 IFBB Wollongong. Mm-hmm. Became runner-up, Mr. Australia for 3 straight years, and in 1997 you joined NABA and won everything. Mr. Australia, Mr. New South Wales. It's a big call, everything, mate. But anyway, Night of Champions. And then you flew to my country, Greece. And it was so funny because when I was listening to the guy say the number, because he was saying it in English and then retranslating it, and number Ogdondaexi, and I know that's 86. Ogdondaexi. I'm going, it was just made me laugh. But I need to ask, why did the guy miss the handshake? You were putting your hand out for 3rd place. He didn't pay attention, did he? You pulled back quick enough, mate. But I was watching it.
I think that was Bill Bryson, actually.
Yeah, what happened was they called 3rd place, so you knew, all right, I'm is it the 1st or 2nd here, right? You're feeling really good. And you wanted to go to the guy, but I think he missed the handshake. He missed it.
Did he? Didn't pick that up.
Oh, I'll show you. Do you want me to show you?
Sure, show me.
No, we have a laugh. At your expense.
You had to pick up the one thing.
I'm like Lee Priest. No, I'm not. No, it wasn't a bad thing. Look, it's it. Look. Watch. See?
Oh, yeah.
See your hand?
He wasn't. He didn't see that. That's
no,
brilliant.
he didn't do anything wrong, the guy. No one did anything. You showed sportsmanship. But, come on. You looked amazing, man.
Thanks, man.
You hide that well. I said, you hide that well. That's a physique.
Yeah, looked pretty good there, I must admit.
Look at the arms.
It was like 28 years ago.
Yeah, but look at the arms. Look at your shoulders. Look at your traps. Look when you got up on stage. Look how big your quads are. No wonder your calves look small. You've got massive. Look at your legs.
Yeah, Lee.
Look at your legs. Did you see your legs?
Yeah, they're pretty good.
You got Rami legs, mate. There you go. Playing the Aussie anthem in
Greece, yeah. That was a great
what my parents said.
experience, great experience, which I'm really proud of, obviously. And
You should be, man. You should be. That's an
I didn't go over there expecting to win that show, by the way.
Well,
I still remember having conversations with the team member going, if I get in the top 6, because there's about 40 people in that lineup. There was thousands in that audience, Greece. It was huge, spectacular.
did you just say 40 in the lineup?
40, yeah, in the lineup. So I'm backstage pumping up. Everyone looked pretty good.
Yeah. How would
So
you
I'm
know?
like, if I get top 6, and this is actually on the plane, we're talking, you know, with me and Bill and a few others. Top 6, I'll be more than happy because we knew the top 6 come out and done their posing routines because that's all we wanted to do, you know. If we get top 6 in the world, wow, that's amazing. But I still remember being there and, you know, they've called out, as you saw a little bit there, you know, top 6, top 5. And I'm like, shit, 4. And I'm looking around and top 3. And I was shit. And I still think, what, did they forget about me? Like, am I in the right, you know? Yeah. And then there was me and the German guy, as you saw there. And he looked phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I think I was a little bit sharper, a little bit.
Yeah, I can see you won it. You won it.
And
I think you
then
also won it around the waist.
Second place.
You were sharper. You
And
really
then
are.
I was just like, did I just fucking win that? And then they've called out my name, and I was like, holy! You can see my expression on my face. Well, I just dropped my head in disbelief. But yeah, it's probably one of those moments in your life, you know, top 5 moments where you sort of go, you know, along with your kids getting born, probably. It's like, holy shit, it's happening. But funny enough, and as it shows the sort of person I am, I went back to the apartment in Greece, showered, took all the tan off, looked in the mirror and said to myself, how the fuck did I win that? Because I still see my flaws,
Of course.
you know.
It's bodybuilding.
And that's bodybuilding. So it's, you never arrive in bodybuilding, or I think in any place for me, that you go, hey, I've totally made it, or that's enough. It's like there's more work to do.
I'll tell you something about the mirror. Something for you to... I do it with my daughter a little bit. Try not to do it too much. But do you know when you've checked yourself in the mirror, you know, when you've got dressed or you put on a T-shirt and you look at yourself and then you walk away. And you know when you go back to the mirror sometimes, do you know why you're going back to the mirror?
No.
Do you want to guess?
Just to double check what I was seeing.
No. Find your flaws.
Find the flaws.
That's the only reason you go back. You go back to find flaws. You don't go back to find better. You go back to critique even harder.
Yeah.
And I
makes sense,
got that from. I've never had a mentor, but this guy was on stage talking. Marcus Setter, his name was, just talking about building business, character, and some of the stuff some of the nuggets. You call them nuggets, gold nuggets. One of them was, he said, "Do you know why you go back to the mirror? Because I need to find flaws." And I went, and I've from that point, that was 10 years ago. I don't go back to the mirror. If I go, oh, these jeans look great, I walk. The first thing I think is, maybe no. I get in the car and I go. And my daughter sometimes she's got the mirror down in the car and she's gone, puts it up, puts it down, puts it out, and I go, "You've seen enough, Ruby. You're only looking for flaws."
Yeah. I like that, yeah.
So just know that.
Still,
Yeah, still. Yeah, you can use it at an event. Yeah, why go back? You're only trying to you're only trying to second guess yourself. If you think, jump at it. Maybe you can call it a Steve moment for everyone. So here you are, 1994 IFBB Mr. Australia, under 80 kilos, 3rd place. 1995 IFBB East Coast champion overall. IFBB Mr. Australia, under 90 kilos, 2nd place. Under 90 kilos, well, I mean, it's crazy about. 1996 IFBB East Coast Championships, overall champion. IFBB Mr. Australia, under 90 kilos, 2nd place. And then 1997 Night of Champions, Newcastle overall champion. Now that was a sword. That was a big sword. Yeah. That was a huge sword, man.
It was a good company, good trophy.
Yeah, that was a big sword,
Still
man.
got the sword. Sits on my desk at work.
Saw it, man. I go, that is huge. It was nearly as tall as you.
Yeah.
It's a big sword.
Yeah.
Wow. NABA New South Wales state titles, Class 3 overall champion. NABA Night of Australia Best Pro Am overall champion. NABA Mr. Australia Class 3 and overall champion. NABA Mr. World Greece Class 3 champion. And it says to go again and play another video. There you go. I have to write these notes, as you can see. I don't wing anything. I write everything down. Usually in my diary. And let's go back to where I put you. Hang on. Oh, I think it was the handshake thing. I think it was the handshake thing. But 1 minute. Let me just see something. It was the handshake thing. I think it was the handshake thing.
Yeah.
Was
It's tough.
the handshake, yeah. Like, but no, that was. I'm just trying to find some humour. It's not really. I think it's great that you put your hand out. He didn't see it, but I'm just saying. But you won first place, and now you've told me out of 40. I mean, obviously,
Yeah, no, huge lineups back then, like huge.
they were always huge. That's why I didn't compete. The lines were huge. I used to watch it. I go, I think I'm also a sore loser, and I think I wasn't going to handle it well. That's what I felt. I think I'm just a sore loser. I'm happy to say that. I want my team to win. I'll accept the other team was better, but I'm not happy. You know what I mean?
No one likes to lose.
No one likes to lose. Let's go into, one second, there was a video on the post that the 15th or the 10th. Oh, the sword. Yeah, I was talking about the sword. It was actually, yeah. There's the Night of Champions one. There it is. I'll show you it.
Yeah, I was lucky to get some videos and footage of back in
Yeah, no, it was great.
Because a lot, as you know, cameras weren't like they are today on your phone.
No, they
Getting
weren't.
footage was a lot harder.
What's that?
Like I got no photos of myself in the gym back in the day because we were there to train, not take photos.
Yeah, no one took.
Although now I wish I took some.
Where was it? Trying to see if I find it. If I don't find it, I'll let it go. But yeah, it just shows you holding
The sword,
the
yeah.
sword. And look, if I'll just say it, if anyone wants to go find it, it's dated. You posted on the 15th of the 10th, 2021. So anybody wants to go find it, 15th of the 10th, 2021, you get to see the sword. So I thought I'd put that out there.
It's on my Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, it's on Instagram. There you go. Thank you for verifying that one too. So Underground Mayo. Did you have a nickname? Mayo something?
I had 2 nicknames in my life when I was at school because I was short and skinny. Midge,
Yeah.
short for midget.
Okay, Mitch. Yeah. I didn't know. I was just trying to work it out.
And funny enough, it went to Mass Mayo.
Mass Mayo. Yeah, that's what I heard.
So that's my
Mass Mayo.
Instagram, at Mass Mayo. So I guess, yeah, because I was, short of stature, but
Massive.
so massive, up to 100 kilo in the off season, that people just call me Mass, you know what I mean? Some people still call me Mass today, but they'd be old friends. Let's
love
go.
that.
Come out, hey Mass, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think everyone, nicknames back in the day were big.
Yeah.
So are you a Liverpool soccer tragic? Do you follow? I saw there were videos that you've travelled the world. I've seen you've been to Greece. I saw you drinking a Mythos beer on Santorini.
Yep.
I've seen you in Italy, and I've seen you in England. And maybe you were at Liverpool's...
Yeah, so we import a brand called Applied Nutrition. And we went to have a white Christmas last year, me and the family,
nice.
in London.
Yep.
And I mentioned to Thomas, hey, we want to go to the soccer. Point me in the right directions where I can buy tickets.
How crazy is soccer there? Yeah,
And then I didn't hear from Thomas for about a week, but then he said how many people, and there was like 10 of us because we took the whole family, like Lara's mum and dad and sister and their kids. So there was like 10 or 12 of us. I said, there's 12. And then 5 minutes later, there's 12 tickets to this thing. So he purchased them for me. Thanks, Thomas. Which would have cost him a fortune. I was very thankful. But we actually went to, gosh, I'm not sure what stadium it was, somewhere outside of London to watch the soccer. I'm not a massive soccer fan. I'm not actually a massive sport fan, to be honest. Like, you won't catch me watching rugby or soccer or bodybuilding, anything anymore. But it was actually a really great spec. Got box seats, were up there.
How crazy is it?
It was your food, drinks, and
It's like walking into prison.
soccer.
It's like going to the prison.
But the soccer was so amazing. Like the roars and the crowd and just the community around those soccer players is massive. It was a tick in the box. It was like, wow.
What about the journey to the game and after the game, the crowds?
That was
insane.
Fun on the trains.
Yeah.
With little Macs and getting squished because everyone's piling onto the trains.
Yeah. It's scary when you're going.
That's part of the journey, but enjoying it's the process, isn't it? It's not just the soccer game, it's getting there and experiencing it all. But it was a great day. It was awesome. Yeah.
I went and saw Tottenham Spurs versus Arsenal.
Yeah, it was Tottenham Spurs actually. That's how we saw it. Tottenham Spurs
versus
and
Liverpool, I think.
Might have been Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think Liverpool won.
Yeah, well, I watched Arsenal
In the
at Tottenham Spurs.
It was in the Tottenham Stadium.
Yeah, it was at Tottenham
It
Stadium.
was at Tottenham Stadium, the new one. It was
I
like,
don't know if it's a new one, but
so I don't know if you've been there, but it's like all these old houses, and there's just like this big spaceship, the stadium.
Yeah.
It's like landed, and from a distance, you're like all these old heritage of buildings and this big spaceship.
it's like a spaceship.
It looks
It's so
out of place. It looked like it just landed from outer space or something. But it was a spectacle. It was huge.
Yeah. No,
The stadium was so big. It was insane.
Yeah, no, I went. I didn't have box seats. I was definitely halfway field down the front. Don't know how I got those tickets. Don't know how. And I was just watching this whole thing. And 3/4 of the crowd was Tottenham, and about 1/4 of the crowd was Arsenal. No one louder than the whole crowd. The Arsenal were nuts. So it was. It's yeah. If you haven't gone to see a game, even if you're not a sportsman, it's your heart races going to the game and leaving the game and watching the game. It's a heart pulpering. Yeah, it's a heart pulpering. Let me just Liverpool, Greece. How's Santorini? How beautiful is Santorini?
Beautiful.
Huh?
Awesome. I love traveling now. Like my wife, as I've said before, Italian heritage, loves to travel. So every year we're going somewhere.
Good on
for
you, man.
Europe for 3 weeks.
Okay, we're going to go to question time just for a minute. Let's start off with Lee's. Have your calves grown? Can I have a pen, please, Chris? Has your calves grown?
No, I guess one thing that lacked in my bodybuilding career and one that plagued me and I hated, doesn't matter what I did.
Unfortunately.
Lee probably just jumped up and down a couple of times in his calves through that little fucker. But me, they just didn't budge. Now, I had my thighs, as you noticed before, been so big.
Yeah.
And the reason my thighs were so big, I've got on the outside of my thigh, it's a little bit like, there's another bodybuilder I saw, but because the exertion doesn't go all the way down the knee, so when you flare them out, they actually give the illusion of more size.
Yeah.
So bodybuilding is an illusion sport at the end of the day, joints, genetics. But my calves just were probably average at best. However, it made it look worse because my thighs were so big and the rest of me grew. So from my knees up, I know Christine Enville once said to me, do you know who Christine Enville is? Yeah. She was like one of the best female bodybuilders out of Australia. She once said to me, from the knees, I'm a different person from the knees up to the calf, from the knees down. So everything grew, with hard work and over time, but my calves didn't seem to want to play ball.
I think it's that. I think that's everyone's gripe in bodybuilding.
Yeah.
Calves is not. It's the 1%ers for some reason.
It is, yeah.
It's if you think 10 years is to grow muscle, you need 20 years to grow calves.
Yeah.
You need 20 years to grow calves.
So that's my calf dilemma.
All right. I'm going to make you guess who gave me this question. I'm not going to mention names from here on in. How much does he love his wife?
How much does he love his wife? It's probably one of my mates, I reckon, because I posted it on my page. And as soon as I posted on my stories, I went, I've got a bunch of mates that were all pretty...
How much does he love his wife? I'm not even going to tell you who wrote that question, but go on. How are you going to answer it?
Oh, gosh. Is it my wife? Is that Laura?
I'm not going to say it. When I post it, I'll maybe mention the name. Maybe I won't.
Well, there's probably a wrong and right answer here, so I'm just going to say...
Good luck. Just remember, Italian cancerian. You could make a laugh, angry, all in 1 hour.
That is right. You can never love them enough. If it's 100%, it's not enough. It's got to be 120.
So, I'm going to say 120%. Just to get you out of the woods. 120%. Make sure when I say that, you've got Grandma's voice. 120%. 120%. All right. 0 to 100, it's 120%.
Correct.
All right? Numbers don't lie. Always. Always. I'm going to write that always. There we go. Perfect. Why did you end up with NABA over IFBB?
Ooh, there's a little story behind that. I competed with IFBB for a number of years, I think 93 through to 96.
I'm going to write things.
Yeah, that's fine. And there was I had a little bit of inside knowledge, I guess. And I won't say any names, but basically I got told on the day they're deciding at the back who's going to make the best Mr. Australia.
So they're pre-deciding?
They're pre-deciding. Mm-hmm. Now, whether that was true or false, this is coming from someone that was in the know, who was out backstage. And that didn't leave a very good taste in my mouth. And I thought the other person would make a better Mr. Australia.
So it wasn't necessarily over you, it was just what you believed who was the best.
I think they were trying to pick who would promote the sport better and who in the best light for business reasons rather than who's the actual best bodybuilder on the day. So a little bit of politics around it.
Everything has politics, unfortunately.
It has.
I'm sure the Olympia has it.
And I think that coincided with what Shane Stratton said of like going to NABA. So I think third time in a row coming runner-up, I was a little bit jaded. I thought it was my turn. I thought I was the best on the day. And look, you know, it's probably not the whole reason. It's part of the reason. The other part was I think Shane came up with a great idea. Go to NABA, be the best you can be.
What's his name? Shane what?
Stratton.
Stratton. Just sorry.
He actually beat Brian Buchanan once. Shane. He was phenomenal. So I think that just coincided with what Shane said, and then I just decided to give NABA a go.
I just said go to NABA being still best amateur as well.
Yeah.
Best amateur to pro.
Yeah. I think the thing with IFBB too, you remember, even if I won Mr. Australia, where am I going?
Yeah.
I'm getting my trophy and I'm going home.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, then what? Yeah. What's next? We won another Mr. Australia and then you go possibly get your pro card. But I already said I didn't want to be a pro because I already had in my head, you know, seeing Lee Priest, etc., all those guys. I didn't want to go to that level. Yeah. So there's nowhere else to go. So traveling the world made more sense to me.
Yeah, well, I've heard that clearly from...
Because traveling the world
and
getting on a plane when you've got a comp to do in 6 days prior to that getting on the plane, it takes some organisation. Like you can't just get on the plane and eat all the food, and you've got to take your food, you've got to take your water with you, you know. So getting used to the idea that if it happened to turn pro one down the track, you actually know how to do it rather than just blindly going.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard it across the board.
So I guess that's the question. That's one of the reasons. That is the reason, or a couple of the reasons why I end up going to NABA.
Okay. Why did they used to call you Mr. Wonderful back in your bodybuilding days?
Oh, God. I'm not sure who gave me that. I think it might have been Joe Lopez back in the day who gave me that one, Mr. Love. I would turn up at the comp with a smile on my face and full of joy and happiness. And everyone would say, how can you be so happy? Everyone's faces were drawn. They were cranky. They were over the whole dieting phase. They just wanted to get on stage, flex, and get the hell off. Where I was the opposite. I was like, everything I've done in the last, 12 to 14 weeks or years of training led up to this moment. I was in shape.
Yeah.
I was looking good.
Yeah.
I was happy to be around, other bodybuilders that were competing. So I'd turn up happy. I'd be like this, and be like, you're Mr. Wonderful. How do you actually do that? And I'm like, I'm enjoying the journey, I'm enjoying the process of training, eating, sleeping, and it got me here today. And I'm going to kick your ass. So, I'm happy because I'm walking away with the trophy.
Very competitive. I think that, like I said, I've watched people competing, and yeah, they look like death. Not just death how they look, pretty much. Just I think with you, they say give someone wealth, give them success, and it magnifies who they are. So if they're a miserable bastard broke, they're going to be a miserable bastard rich.
Yeah.
You're probably a happy bastard broke, and you're probably a happy bastard rich.
Pretty much.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that sounds about right. I like that.
Yeah, I think so. No, yeah. I can see that. I'm going to ask Chris to check some of the questions just when he comes back in. But then you eventually, I moved into business. Like you co-founded a supplement chain called ASN.
Yep.
And we did well early, but over time, my business partner and I had different visions. So I walked away, sold my share, and backed myself. That's when Nutrition Warehouse was born. One store in Underwood, no handouts, just a big mission. And I heard on one of your posts mention one big problem, and this is prior to going into business, that one, you had no money, and friends, when they get involved and money gets involved, things change dramatically.
Yeah.
So tell us about kind of those two paragraphs.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Yeah, I guess I retired from bodybuilding in 2000.
Mm-hmm.
I ended up competing again in 2004 because the NABA world titles come to the Gold Coast. And I thought, shit, I'm going to have to do that.
How did I miss that? The second Worlds in 2000, and then 2004, I missed that completely.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, sorry.
And then, ended up doing that comp and placing third in that.
It taught me structure and grit.
Yeah. But
more than trophies.
Basically, I moved to the Gold Coast in 2000. A friend of mine opened a gym on the Gold Coast, and he said, when are you coming to be a PT on the Gold Coast? So I'm like, I was doing security, I think, at the time, at Telstra, walking old ladies to their cars at night time.
Oh, right.
And I thought, this is not much of a job, you know what I mean? Okay, I'll come up, be a personal trainer. I wasn't a personal trainer, but with Mr. World belt, title on my belt, I can do that. Went and got my certificate, went up there, done it for a few months, but I just didn't like it, to be honest.
So you had a general job?
General job, yeah.
What was that? Yeah, before you went and became a PT, what were you doing?
Security guard.
For?
Walking. So it was 6 p.m. to midnight. So because ladies were working at Telstra, the phone company. So they would come out and I would have to walk them to their cars.
That was your job?
That was my job, yeah.
That and training?
That and training, yep.
All right, keep going now.
Yep. So I moved to the Gold Coast. I thought I'll just go up for 6 months, and actually see what it's like. And then the PT job didn't really work out, I didn't mind it, but myself training and being in the gym trying to get other people to train, I just didn't really.
Yeah, it didn't work.
My actual training was going downhill because I was in the gym too much, seeing too much of the weights and stuff like that.
I was qualified personal trainer and I never did it because I had a great career job, which was network engineer, and I loved training. And I just didn't want to disturb it. But yes, go ahead.
And then they had me cleaning the weights and stuff. I'm like, shit, I'm just a cleaner now. Yeah. So then I applied for a job at Southern Blue. It was a startup supplement company. They were a wholesaler. They had like Tribulus and crude proteins that didn't mix. So we're talking, 2000, so 25 years ago. And my job was to go around and get, these 10 products into health food stores, supplement stores. So I'd done that quite well for around 6 months. And I kept visiting a supplement store in Brisbane called Ada Street and the Supplement Den in Brisbane. 2 supplement stores, none on the Gold Coast. And I guess that's when I had this epiphany moment. I sort of went to John, the CEO at the time. I went, John, why is there no supplement stores on the Gold Coast? Like, for all the fitness geeks, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I
said, it's the beautiful place where people come on the Gold Coast, got their shirts off.
Still is.
Surely they want to look better. He goes, I don't know. I've never really thought about it. And I guess I had that epiphany moment to go, maybe I can open up a supplement store. I'll open up a little store, ex-former Mr. World. I'll write your training plans, tell you how to eat, how to train.
Yeah.
I won't go to the gym with you, but hey, here's a prescription. This is what you do. You also need these supplements. I went, sounds like a pretty good idea.
Yeah, great idea.
Except
Still is.
It still is. Challenge is I had no money, Steve. That was the challenge.
Yeah,
I was like,
talk about it, mate.
Bodybuilders don't seem to have...
These are black coffees.
Black coffees.
No sugar,
sir.
no nothing.
Thank
you, Chris.
Bodybuilders don't seem to, gather wealth over time, you know what I mean? They sort of just care about training and eating and sleeping. And that was me too. So had no money. So, went to the usual outlets. I went to, my mum, we didn't have any money. Friends, no. Went to banks, they wanted a business plan. I'm like, what the fuck's a business plan?
100%.
You know what I mean?
And then when you do give them a business plan, they go, do you have a job? And you go, no, I want a business, not a job.
So a friend of mine, Simon Reese, he always seemed to be flush with cash. When we used to go out partying, he'd always, pay for X, Y, and Z. And I was like, Simon, I got an idea. Do you want to have a sit down? Yeah, we went for coffee, had a sit down. And he went, that's a fucking good idea. And I think at the time he was selling some subs at the back of his car, you know what I mean? So he understood the supplement game. He was looking after himself as well. in the gym, still does. And he said, yeah, let's do it. I said, we? And he went, yeah, let's do it together. I went, sure, okay. So we founded ASN, or Australian Sports Nutrition. He owned 50%, I owned 50%. First store opened in Southport underneath Archer's Gym on the Gold Coast. However, Simon stayed in Newcastle, and I just, at first, we were both just going to hire a manager and put in. But the last moment I said to Simon, I have to run it. It's not going to work, you know what I mean, unless I'm there. And he's like, yeah, okay, do what you think you need to do. So I run the store. Simon stayed silent partner for about 4 years. We grew that into 5 stores together and online. And if you went to any bodybuilding show, you know, and there wasn't as many as there is now, we would be sponsoring it, we'd be there, sampling, be wearing our apparel. That was going really good until Simon decided to come into the business. And Simon and I just had different visions and ideas about the business, you know. As we started small, but as we get to continue to grow, I wanted these big box retail. I wanted supplements for everybody. So someone can walk in, not feel intimidated about where they're shopping, get advice from like-minded people behind the counter. And whether they're, you know, mums that have been pregnant who want to get their, you know, former pregnancy body back, dads who just want more energy, lose the beer gut. But Simon sort of wanted, no, we're here for athletes, bodybuilders, people who train and serious. You know, he had photos of himself up on the walls and stuff like that. Not the Mr. World. Hey, Simon, just himself. I don't like to bag. I'm not trying to bag Simon at all. He's a great guy. We're still friends today. But we had a falling out, basically.
The business does that.
The business sort of started to collide. His vision versus my vision. And I think the catalyst that broke the camel's back is we're setting up Bondi Junction store, and we're all setting it up, friends, family, because, you know, it's a startup. We had low capital still, weren't making a lot of money. So we've done a lot of it ourselves. But then Simon disappeared. And I'm like, where is he? 3 hours later, he comes back. And I'm like, where the fuck you been, dude? I went to Solarium, went and trained. I'm like, where are you setting the store up? Yeah, you guys have got it. And I knew that this probably wasn't going to work, different values. And Simon always said to me he wanted a business that, you know, helped his lifestyle, not necessarily run it 100%. So it just wasn't working. So one of us had to leave, and I decided to put my hand up and leave because I already knew what I was going to do, and that was start my own chain, which was Nutrition Warehouse. Although if you look back then, it was a pretty daunting experience. It's easy now to sit here and go, in hindsight, hey, we made it. But back then, you know, ASN really were the juggernaut of the industry, and it was going to be really hard to take them down. Yeah. But we did.
Well, politely maybe.
Politely.
Yeah, but the thing is, I think we were talking about it when I first went into business too.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. I think when we were in business, when I went into business, I went in with a silent partner, and they had more experience than me, heaps more experience than me. They were in shops 2 decades before I got into shops. I just was a guy that worked for corporate. But that's the difference. When you go into corporate, you bring a professional aspect to it. And I bring systems, procedures. I had shop people there that were from Thailand, Nepal, Campbelltown. And I'd say, we've got a meeting on next week. I'm going to give you an agenda. They go, what's an agenda? I said, and I handed it to them. And I said, these are the things we're going to be looking at. This is a little shop. And they go like, and then when we had the meeting, I did minutes, and I handed them minutes. And they went, what's minutes? I said, this is what we're going to be addressing. And then I set up contingency plans. I said, contingency. And then I said, every year I said, I want to make sure I have a Christmas party. I want to pay. So I used to take them to the best places because I was paying for it. And they'd get invitations, a proper invitation sent to them. Nothing was, I used to go, how come you're doing the orders on the back of a brown paper bag? They go, that's how we do it. I go, so I took all the brown paper bags and I collated it to work out what was consistent, and I created a spreadsheet. And I said, how do I make him not have to write everything, just put numbers next to things? And then I was just, like I said, it's just, but what I'm getting at is, I wanted to open up a second store, third store, and they just didn't want a silent partner. And I hated it. In the 8.5 years, I just sold out. and I lost money. I made my money back. I could have made another 400,000 if I sold it 3 years earlier. But some people, they just can hold you back. They're good at business, but they're self limitations, or they take a leap of faith, but they don't want to take any more leaps of faith. They're just happy. They just took one. They're making a bit of coin, and they forget that there's always a leap of faith. There's always reinvestment. It's never comfortable.
Yeah.
It's problem solving along the way. Sometimes growing too big, then backing it off, and then growing again and growing too big. And then, oh my God, I went to another store, cash flow was shit. You know what I mean? What happened? What did we do? Slow it down. I mean, do these sound familiar?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's lots of challenges in business. From day one to
now.
17 years later.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. And all right, so we spoke about today you've grown to 120 stores across Australia and a few in New Zealand. We've built the strongest retail brand in Australia, and we've only getting started. What drove and do you think bring the success of Nutrition Warehouse?
That's a great question, actually. I guess in the early days, the exodus from ASN was the driver. I mean, I think in bodybuilding you might have a nemesis you're after that you want to defeat on stage.
Of course.
And I guess that nemesis for us was ASN. In the early days it was a small team, 2 or 3 stores. And whilst our mission was, to help people achieve their own individual health and fitness goals, really behind the scenes it was crush ASN.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Bring them down. We're going to overtake them. And that drove us fiercely internally. And I think it was about year 4 or 5 that we, opened up more stores than they had. And that was a sign of defeat, or us winning.
Yeah.
We didn't know their numbers or anything, but having more stores
That's a number.
than they did, it's a number. Hey. And the strange thing was in the office, it was like, we just surpassed ASN with store numbers. And we're like, yeah. Okay, what's next?
Yeah.
I think we celebrated for about 4.3 seconds.
Yeah, that's all you do.
It was like a couple of high fives and like, okay, what's the next mission? You know what I mean? So we set other missions, obviously, to drive us and push us forward after that. So, which was, the second mission was 50 stores before Grant was 50.
Oh.
And then the next mission, once we accomplished that, we wanted to get to 100 stores because no other retailer in Australia had ever got to 100 stores. G&C come out here, who are huge in the States. They got close to 50 stores and they went bankrupt and closed. So, 100 stores was the next mission. And now it's changed over there, of course. But
how did you do that? By making sure you didn't blow yourself out at the end?
What's that, sorry?
How did you achieve that without necessarily having an ego to just have 100 stores, which could blow you out? You had to, there has to be a way to, it's not just 100 stores because it's having substance within the business and cash flow. Like I said to you, when I grow my business, sometimes I take on another account and I've realized we've got to regroup. I've got to save my money again. I'm not so flamboyant. I mean, there's got to be cash flow suddenly.
Yeah, I guess you can put it back to like bodybuilding. Every time I look at stuff, it sort of rolls off bodybuilding. Like, how did you put another 5 kilo of muscle? You know what I mean? How did you get leaner? So I guess with the 50 to 100, it was just structuring out. Okay, well, how many stores do we need to open by when? How much cash flow is needed to get those stores up and running? Who's going to be finding the right store locations? What structure do we need in place to ensure that 100 stores has the...
It's pretty big.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
No, it's huge.
But it's brick by brick, really. It's just like going to the gym and lifting more weight slowly and slowly. It's adding a store, adding another store, and make sure you do it, with operationally and cash flow and all that. So there's no... Someone asked me last night, actually, when I was out... what's the secret sauce? And I don't think there is a secret sauce.
I actually, when I read it, it was like water off a duck's back until today. I was driving in and I was talking to somebody. I said, 120 stores. I remember when Porto's opened up a store near my juice bar and I met the owner and he was just shy away from 100 stores back in 2000. I went,
Yeah.
okay. Even then I go, 100 stores. I go, wow. And even franchises haven't got that number. Like, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking to myself, wow. That's when I went, 120 stores. That is quite a feat. I said, how big is Australia? How many states do we have? Like, where is he in 120 stores in Australia?
But I think I touched on before, that's where those missions are so important because those missions drive you, you know what I mean? It's not just driving me, it's driving an entire team, whether it's 100 people and we've got 500
You've got
550
staff, I think.
Yeah, 500 plus. So
500 plus, $15 million turnover a year. Want to push it to 17 million?
150 million.
150 million. Sorry.
15 million, I'll be bankrupt.
sorry. No, it's... Look, it says 170 million. I got it.
But yeah, it takes...
No. Yeah, 150 million.
Yeah.
You want to take it to 170 million? Over 120 stores, 550 staff. I can play the video. I've got the video here.
Yeah, so I guess those missions do drive you. When you said, how do you actually do that? You know, you just set the where you want to go, and you go after it. And it takes a whole team to do that. And our new mission now, after we got past 100 stores, we realised, you know, that those missions were all internalized, so all about us. Where in theory they should be about the customer. You know what I mean? So we switched the script on that. And
that's
now,
perfect timing.
It was perfect timing. And now we've flipped the script and our new mission is to inspire 2 million people to be built for life by 2033. So we want to be serving 2 million customers each year in Australia or New Zealand. Now we're in New Zealand. And helping them inspire them to be built for life. And when we say built for life, you know, built ripped, built strong, built fast.
Mentally.
Built healthy. Whatever they're built for is, we're there to help them reach their goal. So it's not about us anymore. It's about our customer.
Perfect timing.
Perfect timing. And it's been a great journey. So the whole team now is every discussion we have in how we're going to open up this store or we're going to do X, Y, or Z, is that helping us move us towards our mission.
I love that. Well, I was going to ask the question, what is the entrepreneurial secret, Grant? And the reason I say that is it mindset? Is it belief? Is it risk taker? Problem solver? Luck? What does one's mind need to be? And I've got something extra from that. And for someone, do they also have to have, and also does someone have to have success front and center, or can that happen just by certain characteristics? Because not everyone thinks, have you ever heard someone go, I never knew that what I was doing was going to make it a worldwide success. I just did it as a hobby. And then they're successful. But we're hearing stories, people having that deep down belief inside them. And then you think, which one do I do? So tell me.
I think start all those things you said. You need all those things, you know, and I don't really like, you know, for myself, when someone calls me an entrepreneur, I don't really like it because I don't see myself as entrepreneur. Yeah. I see me as someone that took action. You know, I go back to 2000 when, you know, this sup store idea, anyone could have done that.
Yeah.
You know, but I took the action, you know what I mean? Just like I took the action to go to the gym and do that and continually train, eat, sleep, breathe, bodybuilding. I just went, hey, I'm going to open a supplement store. Why did I do it? Oh, I needed a job. I wanted a good job that I would like to go to and, you know, be happy to go to each day, just like I did the gym. And I thought the supplement store would be ideal for me. Did I think at the time that it would turn into 120 stores? Never, ever. You know, maybe half a dozen stores.
Yep.
But I think the entrepreneurial spirit is basically, they have grit, they have determination, they have focus, they have a vision of what they actually want to do. You know what I mean? And then they go out and start that, and then they find a group of people and bring into their team that have the same ideals as them that can go after it. We talk about it at work, like getting on the bus and getting off the bus. So imagine if you're going somewhere. If you close this business tomorrow, you know, let's just say it was a decent sized business, who would you put on the bus and take with you to the next business? or who would you tell you're not invited on the bus? So making sure that most of your team members should be on the bus.
It's a team, isn't it?
It's all about team, yes. You can't do it yourself.
But at the same time, it's like, you can be the CEO, but you're just not a CFO. That's not your skill.
Correct.
And the CFO is controlling your money, which means have they got some power over you? But then again, they don't know how to run a company. So you're kind of working together to complement each other and pay their due respects. Like, you just bring in the right people. At the beginning, I was afraid when I had my shop that the chef knew more than me. I never wanted to cook. I never cooked. But I said, God, this guy knows all the recipes. So I made him extract the recipes to me, and I wrote them down and I had how to make it. So when they were away, I just said to someone, go at the back and follow my list. And they did. And I even told them how long it took. I said, because one time you could tell someone to go make a salad out the back. If I told you go make a fruit salad, right? And you go and you bring it out 3 hours later, why should I get angry? I didn't tell you how long it takes.
Correct.
But if I said to you, it's 20 minutes, and you go, and I told you where to start and how the garnish looked at the end, and I told you it took 20 minutes, but it actually took 30. I just said another 10 minutes quicker. So when you came out at 25 minutes after, I just said, you did your best. So I just said 20 minutes, and they knew 20 minutes, the fruit salad had to come out. Everything was timed. I told them how long it took to mop a shop. I said, the shop takes 20 minutes to mop. Yeah. You can stay here for 2 hours after that. I don't pay. You can talk to each other as much as you like. You can hold on to the mop as much as you like. That's your call, not my call. My shop takes this long, shut doors. You can sit and have a little yarn. Go for it. I don't pay for the yarns. And, oh my God, I was thinking it's insane. I think it cost me my marriage. How are we looking for time? We're doing all right. We're doing fine. We're doing fine. I guess I had this kind of towards the end, but I'm going to bring it in and out.
Yeah.
I want to know, we hear about rituals and habits. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. I get up and have a cold shower, and then I read my affirmations, and then I read Marcus Aurelius, stoicness. Or is there a ritual and habit? And was there a ritual and habit for the broke guy? And is there a ritual habit for I won't say the rich guy, but does that change, or do you have rituals and habits? I'll explain I'll say quickly my ones, right? I used to get up and I used to look at my vision board. I still have the vision board there. And then I read some of my affirmations. I had a cold shower and I punched the boxing bag outside. Do a few things. And at one stage it was pissing me off. And I looked back in my early 20s when I didn't do anything and I was successful. I said, fuck, I didn't do anything. But I said, sometimes I just want to wake up with my robe on and a drink of black coffee and not give a fuck. Excuse the French. So now I mix the two together. Some days I want to look at the vision board, and some days I don't. And a psychologist once told me this, because I was, obviously going through a dark time being divorced and a few other things. I said to her, I go do this, I do that, I do this, I do that. She goes, that's wonderful. She says, and I'm glad you've done it for a long time. Like, you've done it for a while, years. She said, so what happens if you don't do it today? Does it all turn to shit? And I went, no, I guess I've built a practice. So do you have rituals and habits? And are rituals and habits what gets success? Because that's what they try to teach us on IG.
I wouldn't say I've got rituals or habits. Like, I don't get up in the morning, so I have to do X, Y, Z.
Okay.
I guess I try and structure my day as, family time in the morning. I'm at work, I'm working. Gym time, I'm training. And then back at home, family time again.
Yep.
Now, I still may, to learn and to educate myself and keep up, with knowledge. Yes, I'll listen to a ton of podcasts.
Yeah.
That interests me.
Yeah.
But I might do 10 podcasts a week. I might do none for 2 weeks.
Yep.
It's all about time and balance, or I'll save them from what I can. I'm flying around, listen to a podcast. If I'm driving in the car, it's always a podcast over music.
Yep.
So I don't have anything like, if you go back to bodybuilding days, yes, I done chest on Monday, legs on Tuesday, and rested. They're rituals where it has to happen.
Yep.
I'm going to work in my hours. Yes, there's rituals there with meetings and, structure and what we're trying to achieve and how we're going to get there.
Yeah.
I try and leave it there at the office.
Yeah.
However, when you're running a business of this size, it's almost impossible. You're always doing some little bits and pieces at home, but not enough to affect family life or training.
Did you have to fix that at times?
I think early on, yes.
Yeah.
Now with a bigger organisation, and yes, we've got,
The people in place.
CFOs
Yeah.
and COOs and people running the show. It's a lot easier to manage. But I still have rituals in terms of, yes, I must go to the gym 3-4 times a week.
Good.
I do the sauna on average 3 times a week, every second day. Depends what's going on at home.
Yeah.
I walk the dogs, 5 times a
like
week.
to walk the dogs,
So they're my rituals that I must do to feel like Grant. If I didn't go to the gym now and train, then you probably don't want to hang around me after about a week of not training. 'Cause I get the itch and I need to train.
Sometimes your wife tells you, "Can you go to the gym?" And you go, "All right, I get it."
Laura will sometimes. Have you been to the gym lately? Because you're getting antsy-pantsy.
Yeah.
It helps me, the gym, I do the gym after work. So I work, 4 o'clock, 4:30, I'm at the gym, 45 minutes.
I like it too.
It's a good mental rebalance, reset before you do go home and have to deal with the kids or whatever's going on there. So the gym's a different outlet for me now than it was back in the bodybuilding days. So I wouldn't say I've got rituals in that I must do, but they are there, and I have to do the saunas and the walk the dogs and the training. Otherwise, I'll be off-centered, yes.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to bring that up in a way because sometimes I feel trapped, even though I've done things, I feel trapped that, I didn't do my rituals and habits, that's why I'm not successful, or that's why that didn't work. And I thought to myself, but I guess because of social media, we're hearing all these things, it's in our face, where in my 20s, like before I got the shop in the city, I wanted a shop 3 years prior, and I used to drive to Newtown, drive to the city and look at shops and say, if I had a shop here, I'd do this, and if I had this here, I'd do that. Does that make sense? Even wasn't it? We would get up and move. I guess that was kind of rituals and habits. But I think sometimes the internet makes you feel like a failure, like social media kind of makes you think if you're not doing this, this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this.
It's the highlight reel, isn't it?
It's
Instagram. It's just like everyone's best side, but not their worst side.
Yeah, and I'm just like, forget it. That's why I decided. I said, no, I'm not. I get up in the morning, I know what I want to do. Sometimes I want to go for a walk. I like to go on my push bike, go for a walk, get a coffee, walk. That's what I like. But sometimes I realise I've just got the energy right now to address an email. Like I've just got it. So in my robe, and usually I wear black all day. Monday to Friday, you're going to see me in black. Not just this. That's my uniform. I'm like Donald Trump. He wears a blue suit, red tie. You'll see me. Black T-shirt, black jeans, Converse. And I've got 7 T-shirts, black jeans, Monday to Friday. I don't change my uniform. But sometimes I have to do an email quickly. I'm in my robe.
I think for me, rituals is more about, do you truly love it? I mean, going to the gym for that decade was not hard work for me because I loved it and I liked the process. Going to Nutrition Warehouse to make the business, the company better, to help people to reach their goals and be part of the industry still, it's not hard at all.
No.
I love going there. If I'm not there, I will miss it. I won't be there 7 days a week either, by the way. It's balance, you know.
Of course.
So I think that's where it comes back to, if you want to do anything in life, you've got to really love it.
Yeah, love is the main word.
If you don't love it, you're not passionate about it, it's really hard to get up day after day, week, years, decades, and keep doing it, because one day you just wake up and start drifting away and you'll be like, why aren't you disciplined at this? Where's the mindset?
Yeah.
Mindset only applies if you actually really like to do it, I think. If you don't like to do it, and that's where a lot of companies break down, I think, you know.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean to interrupt, but someone said to me, like, I was talking to someone, they said, I just set my alarm clock. I go, I haven't set an alarm clock for I don't know, when was the last time I set an alarm clock? They said, oh, lucky you. I said, no, I could get up at 5. I could get up at 7. I don't really care because I don't have, I'll be upset if I wake up at 9. I'll get upset if I wake up at 10, but I seem to wake up like without an alarm clock. Like today I didn't set an alarm clock, but I was up at 6 o'clock because I had to do a few things. But I get up because I can, because I want to, and I want to get up early. Like I want to get up. I don't want to stay in bed. So I think there's a love and a want. And if you're forced by something to get you up and forced for something to go and do, and even when in business, not you're at a different scale to me. But sometimes people say to me, Steve, why don't you, like sometimes when there's certain changes, they might say, I watch them and they've got a job and I think maybe having a job is easier. Like I just know what I get paid every week, or it's just super, I get 4 weeks annual leave, and I think, fuck, bite my tongue, no way. I said, that looks, maybe, no, I said, but that's it for them. I don't disgruntle what they're doing, but then they're giving me advice, and that's where I've gone wrong. They go, no, you don't even know business. That's why you're giving me work advice. Like the worst, I remember showing my parents, I was renovating a house. I've never renovated a house. Honestly, you should have seen this thing. I've never built a house, but I built it. When I brought my parents to see the house, it was demolished. Like render off the walls, doors taken out, roof taken out, ceilings taken out, floors taken out. I've never done this in my life. I didn't even know what a UBL was, universal beam, universal column, 240s by 73s, knew nothing. And just when I was working it out, I brought my parents in. I said, come and have a look what I'm doing. They walked in. It was a mine. And they looked at me and said, can you put this together? And I went, oh my God, can I put this together? I can destroy it. Can I put it together? They spooked me. And throughout the whole time I was putting it together, I kept saying, can I put this together? Can I put it? Eventually I did.
Yeah.
But that's like everything. I think I had funny stories. I had this wonderful guy, financial advisor, come to tell me how to do my money many years ago. He rocks up and I'm like, I'm not flamboyant in any way, but you know, I'm a car collector. But my cars aren't Ferraris. My cars are M3s and XR8 Falcon, you know, John Goss Special, whatever it is, whatever. Maybe I've got that wrong. But anyway, having said that, and he's rocked up and he's rocked up in his Kia and he walks in, he's telling me where to put my super. And I went, do you know where the next property boom is? He goes, no. I go, do you know this? No. Do you know what's going to appreciate in value? He goes, no. He goes, I'm just here to do your super. I said, so you don't know anything about today? He goes, no. I said, in my head, I said, why am I getting advice from this guy? God love him, but I thought, mate, he's too much in the future for me. I'm doing things now. So I thought, my accountant is just to collect my money. Don't ask my accountant about property. Just talk to the right people. A guy that's been married for a long time, I want to know what the secret is to marriage. But if you want to talk about what the secret is to divorce, you can come and talk to me. You can come and talk to me. I'll tell you how to fuck it up. You know what I mean? And that's what I found. Like even my parents, they were never in business. One time, seriously, Grant, my business was running by itself. I used to go and want to see my parents for lunch. Every time I walked in, they go, what are you doing here? I said, I come to say hello, have lunch with you. They go, oh, if we knew business was that easy, we'd all be in business. And you go, oh my God. And they spook me again. So you got to kind of be careful who you seek advice from. I'm talking to a guy that's turning over $150 million a year. But what I'm trying to say is you probably got that right. I'm trying to say anyone that's listening, you know, if you're going to ask a bodybuilder, if you're going to want to know bodybuilding, talk to a bodybuilder that's competed, probably been on cycles, whatever he's been on. And you're probably going to find out a lot more than talking to someone that's done a season or one show, even posing coaches, businessmen, everything. Like for me, so much noise, but I think I'd prefer to sit down with you and ask you, how did you do it? And write notes than, you know, and also being in a relationship in business, then asking Chris, you know, about relationships in business. Do you know what I mean? We need to know why we're talking to people, not waste our time, you know, going to the wrong person. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
You know?
Fair point.
Yeah. Sorry, I went on a bit of a rampage. Pin post. Building towards $170 million supplement store. Building towards. I'm assuming. You can tell me if you're already there. 550 staff. Over 120 stores, obviously in New Zealand. What's the strategy and the challenges, and also competing against other businesses and past and present? What's you've wrote here? You know, the bold bets. The hard lessons, you know, I may have started the story, but we built these chapters together, Grateful to stand alongside the best in the game. Here to inspire the community to be built for life. So tell me now, how's it all going?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, our core value, we live and breathe by our core values, which guide a business. It's, its beliefs and its values.
Yeah.
And one of those is enjoy the journey, because I've always loved that. I guess a lot of those core values are part of Grant, and enjoy the journey is something that I loved in bodybuilding, and now I love at Nutrition Warehouse. Helping to inspire people to be built for life is just another part of that. I'm not helping myself anymore, but I sort of still am, because I get to take all the sups and see what's coming up in the industry, but also helping, hundreds of thousands of Australians help themselves and hopefully know that, part of what we've done over the years is help them reach their goals as well. Is freaking awesome. I love it.
What about the world? You going to take on the world?
Well, I guess what's next is we keep doing what we're doing. We're going to keep opening up stores where we feel the community needs it. Because we're a communications-based company. We're trying to open so it's easy for Australians, Kiwis, the world to access sports supplements and get the right advice.
Yep.
So we'll continue to do that. We do that well, 120 stores in 17 years. And now we're in New Zealand. So, the Kiwis have got a taste of us.
Where are you?
We've got 3 stores in Manukau, Mount Wellington and Westgate. So 3 stores in 12 months. So we continue to roll out over there to help the Kiwis. And global, you never know, Steve, you never know. But right now we're focusing on Australia and New Zealand.
Exciting though.
The rest, if you asked me years ago, would New Zealand be on the cards? No. But I didn't think 120 stores would be on the cards either. So things change, evolve. So possibly the world, but right now we're just focused on what we're focusing on.
To go to New Zealand, did you have to remember the beginning of a country? Like what I'm saying is not know their culture. What it means, you went from a store in Gold Coast, and you built it to 120. So there was a build a template, pick it up, move it,
Correct,
pick it up,
yes.
move it.
Yeah.
Did you have to, with New Zealand, humble yourself a little bit too, or not?
It's probably no different than going to Perth, because Perth's further away. You know what I mean?
That's a good one. Yeah.
Going to Perth. When you start in a new state, you really are starting all over again.
Okay.
Because not many people understand the brand or know the brand.
I hear you.
So it's about building that brand. With brand comes trust, and why would people shop at Nutrition Warehouse over another retailer? But once I think they experience, well, most, not all, experience the Nutrition Warehouse way, that they understand that we've got the biggest brands in the world, the range, the exclusives, but it was all backed up with Deliver Wow, which is another core value of Deliver Wow, because every touch point we're here to deliver wow, to make sure that we're delivering wow at each customer service touch point to give the customer what they need. And that's why we have massively good Google ratings, because the whole team's behind that mission, But yeah, rolling it out, there's a system in place now, so it's it's like turnkey.
Good.
Roll it out, community involvement, team. There's a structure there, which, as you pointed out before, there needs to be.
It needs to be.
But yeah, who knows where we're going to go? We're actually off to the Dubai Muscle Show this October to set up a booth there and spread our wings over in Dubai.
Nice.
Lovely part of the world.
It is. I've never been
So
there,
yeah,
actually.
so it's just changing, evolving all the time.
I'm excited just for you. I don't know why. I'm not trying to say. I'm inspired, to be honest. And I even feel talking to you like humbled. It just seems like talking to a mate. Like we're at a different level, but maybe in mindset we're in a similar place, and how we feel about ourselves, our body, just looking after ourselves, being the best version of ourselves is very important. And I think that helps your business as well.
Yeah. Well, it's not, like I said before, it's like bodybuilding. It's never unfinished.
And you always start again. You go back to the gym and you think you're starting, and again, you've taken a few weeks off, you're back again.
Yes. I got off stage in 97, looked in the mirror and said, how did I win that? Yeah. I still do that now. It's like there is no, enjoy the journey is there for a reason also. There is no destination. There's no finish line.
No.
200 stores, 2,000 stores.
Bodybuilding.
It won't change what we're trying to do. We're trying to reach as many people as we can and help them be built for life. The quicker we do that, the better, but it's not going to change who I am because there is no end game, which is sort of sad in itself because one day I know I'll have to walk away from this baby, because I'll be too old or something will happen in life. That always does.
Yeah.
As my mum says, you're on a sailing ship, you're out. There's always a beautiful flat day one day and a storm the next. There's always challenges to overcome. I'm sure that will happen with me in my lifetime. And I'll have to, palm that off to someone else to run.
Well, but if you see, before we go over the body, finish up, I'm paying attention at the moment. I'm paying attention to the amount of bow-legged, bent over, hip, hunched back. There's a reason they're there, these old people. I'm not saying we're not going to get there, but it starts now. My dad had a veggie patch and he grew the cucumbers, the tomatoes, fig, grapes, lemons, lime, lettuce, thyme, parsley, to the point where he didn't grow it anymore. And he was having crust pizza for dinner, drank a lot, because he could, meaning not alcoholic I'm talking about. But eventually, cornflakes for dinner because my mum passed away. Eventually that caught up to his brain. Didn't have nutrition. Nutrition warehouse. Nutrition is so important. I'll be damned if I'm going to fucking become 80, excuse the French, or 90 and bent over. I'll fight that. I'll fight it today. So at 56, I think I look pretty good for 56, but I think it's because of what I did 10 years before. And my ex-wife's grandmother said, you reap the 10 years prior, you reap today. So she said, if you want great 40s, do great 30s. And you want great 50s, do great 40s. And you want a great 60s, she said, do great 50s. And it's true. What you built beforehand is what you're going to get for the next decade. So for me, in my 40s, I'll be honest with you, I started smoking. I was doing rolly cigarettes because I thought that's the closest to organic in a way. I remember hitting a cycle at 49, but I was still going out having vodka. I was probably chasing women too when I got divorced. Late night, I was wondering, but it was reckless. Probably my most reckless decade out of from 20 to 30 of bodybuilding too. Most reckless, but I did okay. But no, I said, as soon as I went 50, and my early 50s nearly buckled, and but I changed it all. Like I said, cleanest I've ever been, hardly drink. If I'm going to drink, I'll drink with you. On my own, I won't drink. You want to have a glass of wine? Me and you're drinking a glass of wine. But on my own, I'm not. And I don't drink to commiserate, and I don't drink to celebrate because it just washes out my emotions. So if I feel like crap and something bad happened, I want to cry. And if I celebrate and I'm happy, chicken and rice. Chicken and rice, chicken and rice, chicken and rice. Like, but what I'm getting at is, I've been having a kebab with my daughter, but I think it's what we do, what we eat, the supplementation. I'm onto supplements now. Trust me. Zinc, magnesium, creatine.
From Nutrition Warehouse.
Yeah, from Nutrition Warehouse. No. I went. Look, no. Well, the one you said to me, I'm sorry that you have to go to the Rockdale store, but I did go to the Rockdale store prior to you saying that because obviously you're renovating a lot of stores. But I'm an advocate for you, but I'm hellbent. No way. And tell me how hard it is to buy these supplements, and tell me how hard it is to sometimes get them. But it's harder not to have them. No one understands it's harder not to have them. You know what I mean? And trust me, I prefer to delay. I know this is going to sound strange. I prefer to delay a gym membership to make sure I still have my chicken and rice and supplements, because the gym is a waste of my time if I'm not eating and resting and having true supplementation. What a waste of picking up doing bicep curls when I haven't eaten well. What a waste of bicep curls if I haven't done This is a good ad for you, but think about it.
Yeah.
I've gone on an empty stomach, drinking alcohol, not burgers and chips, and I've gone to the gym. I prefer to delay my gym membership, fix up my food, fix up my supplementation, and then I'll hit the gym and watch me turn that around. And I've noticed it. I've put on the best size in the last 2 years. I got to 107 kilos. I said, I'm going to take 2 years to lose this because I knew if I take it too quickly, I'm going to compromise muscle and look withdrawn. 2 years to lose 20 kilos. And I've done it. I'm down to 87. I want to lose another 5. But like I said, no one understands it's the longest game. That's what's good about bodybuilding, because it's such a long journey. But if you do it right, it's the foundations behind it all, the food, the supplementation. Yeah, so for me, I can't compromise if... and I listened to Milosh as well. And Milosh said, why are you looking at what the average person should have? So in other words, creatine says once a day, right? I take it 3 times a day. Take it once in the morning.
Good man, yeah.
Yeah, once before training and once after, because I'm a bodybuilder. I'm not an accountant sitting at a desk taking creatine. Like, people mistaken what they're doing. That's the average person. Yes, that's what saying your calories are sitting at the desk, catching a bus and going home. But what about the guy that's at the gym busting his body up? So, or going for a long 15,000 steps, or 10,000 steps. That's not 1 scoop of creatine. That's even not 1 scoop of protein powder. And even Milosh said he would never change his protein. He would up the protein and eliminate carb. So if he had to go down to 2,500 calories, it was the protein didn't leave. Yeah. The carb left. Or so whatever he did, and it's so smart. We just sit there thinking, like I said, that's just a recommended by the health administration what an average person should have. But when you're in sport, you have to change that a little bit. So like I said to you, I get up in the morning, I have amino acids. I never did that. Straight have my aminos, vitamins, food. I've got Tupperware here. I've been ice creams for 2 years. But I still live life. I had a kebab with my daughter. I'll go have a pizza. Yeah. Have a glass of wine if I need to. You've got to have balance, but what you do 10 years now is what you pay later. So I think, Grant, if you keep going the way you're going, training what you're going, you'll probably be running your stores in your 90s, mate.
Maybe.
Knowing you,
None
you
of
will.
Lara gets her way.
What was that?
None of Lara gets her way.
No, go with Lara, mate. Go to the Greek islands and drink Mythos beer. I prefer to be doing that. Trust me. Shall we go over the body?
Sure.
All right. Well, I'm going to tell you a body part. I just need an exercise, sets and reps. All right. All right. Traps.
Never did them.
Okay, that's fine. It's amazing. Don't say that about calves. Delts. I'll get you on it. Delts, because you look like you had good traps. Let me just say.
They were good. Yeah, I think it's from the back training more than it was the. So if I couldn't have done traps because they're already stupidly massive.
Yeah.
Unlike my calves. Thank you. Any more would have looked stupid.
Okay, so delts, side delts.
Good old-fashioned side dumbbell rows.
Yeah. What did you do for sets and reps? Like I said, someone just...
3 sets, 6 to 8 reps.
Okay. Redelts.
Same.
Bent over?
Yep. Bent over, dumbbells.
6 to 8.
Supported on the chest. 3 sets, 6 to 8 reps.
Okay. Front delts?
No. Oh, sorry, just press. Shoulder, dumbbell presses.
Yeah.
No, number 1 would be dumbbell presses, yes.
Okay.
3 sets, 6 to 8 reps.
All right, you don't have to say 6 to 8. We'll go with that for everything in a sense.
Pretty much.
But if you if you want to change something, you tell me.
Yeah.
Back exercise.
My favourite back exercise? I would say reverse barbell rows.
Oh yeah,
reverse.
I know that.
Not forward, reverse.
Reverse, yeah. You can dig into it.
Yes, got that off Dorian.
Yeah. No, I've done them. I might even do it. I've got lower back tonight.
Yeah.
With hammies, I'm doing low. I actually split my back up now. I do lower back on its own and upper back on its own.
Okay.
Chest.
Incline barbell press.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Bicep.
Standing barbell curls.
Yep. 3 sets, 6 to 8.
Yep, all the same.
Tricep.
Skull crushers.
Yeah. Okay. Forearms.
Nothing.
No, that's all right. Lucky you. We won't talk about the calves yet. Abs?
Not a lot. Only pre-contests, like soon as you start, 12 weeks out, start doing it.
Yeah, okay.
Basics, hanging leg raises, crunches, nothing crazy.
Okay. Quads?
Favorite hack squats.
Hack squats? Hack squats. Okay.
Hack squats, yeah.
Well, I just let you know when I do legs, it's 4 sets. I usually, because they're, I guess, a big body part.
Yeah.
Some of my big body parts, I throw 4s in.
I was always low. You know, I followed the.
4 sets, and I just do 6 to 8, but sometimes 12 if I was.
You know, when I say before, like, I loved the gym. I sort of had a love-hate relationship. I loved it, but I didn't want to live there.
Yeah, I know.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So my workouts were like an hour long, and I was probably training in the gym like 4 or 5 times. So 4 or 5 hours a week, even in my prime.
Yeah.
Not that I do that 45 minutes now, three or 4 times, but in my prime, it was only. I followed the Dorian Yates philosophy, Mike Metzer, heavy duty.
And that worked.
But I'd done 3 sets. I didn't do 1 or 2 sets.
Okay, no.
Because I was scared to do 1 set, I wouldn't grow. 2 sets, not enough. 3 seemed logical.
No, it is. Well, it's a fundamental rule, I guess.
Yeah.
Hammies?
Stiff-legged deadlifts.
Okay. Glutes?
Nothing.
Nothing. Calves?
Anything that works.
Anything.
But there is no favourite.
Surgery.
There is no favourite.
Surgery.
Surgery, yes. Yeah, surgery.
That's all right. Calf raises. We'll go calf raises standing. Tibialis? We probably didn't even touch that either.
No.
Okay. Well, where can we find you, Grant? Promote yourself, Grant. Tell us a bit. Tell us about yourself, Grant, quickly. Where can we find you?
Instagram, Mass Mayo.
Miss Mayo. And Nutrition Warehouse, Oz, or Nutrition Warehouse.
And yeah, hopefully you'll buy all your subs at Nutrition Warehouse. Yeah. And hopefully there's a lot of shoppers, loyal shoppers that are shopping there. And hopefully we're inspiring you to be built for life. That's why we're here. It's why we exist.
Well, I just want to say thanks. I've really enjoyed this podcast, this conversation. And yeah, I thank you so much for giving me your time.
Well, thanks for inviting me. It's been a really easy, stress-free podcast, you know. Yeah. It's just a conversation between 2 people about
something they love. Business and family and bodybuilding.
Bodybuilding, business, family.
Yeah, love that.
Awesome.
Love that stuff.
What a ride. What a journey. It's been great.
Just the Holden bit kind of got me a little bit off key at the beginning, but it was an SLR 5000.
Yeah, we all make mistakes sometimes. You know?
Yeah, well, who, me or you? All right, we'll take a wrap on that one. Another podcast done with another wonderful guest. They're all greats, no matter who they are. So, to continue what we're doing and to keep supporting you and bringing the very best, if you could subscribe, hit the notification bell, press like, it only helps us to grow this channel even further. We really appreciate the support, and to go and find more all around the world. Bring them here to Muscle Talks podcast and share real, raw and honest conversation around a sport we love, bodybuilding. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching this podcast. Thank you for watching all podcasts. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking, and continue watching us here on YouTube or listening to us here on Spotify.